football linebacker, spy the quarterback. He can rush from anywhere, and he's having a great year.
10 straight games with a TFL. He has 16 of those this season, #1 in the nation. Our players to watch on the Marshall side, beginning with their running back who rushed for 220 yards last week in the win against Florida Atlantic. Brendan Knox is the Conference USA Offensive Player of the Week.
Brendan Knox is everything to this team and to this offense. They want to get him the ball early and often and continue to try to pound the ball. But guess what? Western Kentucky, their defense has been very solid up front. Brendan Knox coming off a 220-yard performance last week. They will give him the ball early. Let's just see if Western can hold up for 4 quarters.
And his play, his great play, dates back all the way to the end of last season. He's in some incredible company since December 1st of last season. Only Chuba Hubbard, Jonathan Taylor, Travis Etienne, and J.K. Dobbins have more rushing yards. Knox over 1,000. In the receiving game, they do it with their tight ends, a trio of them. Xavier Gaines, Armani Levias, and these guys do it well along with Devin Miller. They've combined for over half of the receptions this season.
Yeah, you hear the old cliche that a tight end is a quarterback's best friend. Well, guess what? They have 3 of them that they feel really confident on the field at the same time, and they can create mismatches all over the place, different personnel groupings to confuse the defense. A lot of misdirection in the backfield with these tight ends, so I think they're going to get a lot of action tonight.
And Xavier Gaines is a converted quarterback, so he also has this touchdown pass as well. So versatile and so many receptions. Look at that. Levias and Gaines first and second on the team in receptions. All 3 of these guys have 2 touchdown receptions. Well, the conference coach of the year right now has to be this guy, Tyson Helton, in his very first season. He's the brother of Clay Helton. Last year was the offensive coordinator at Tennessee. He's come over here to Western and totally turned things around, but he's got experience. He was the offensive coordinator here under Jeff Brom back when they were winning conference titles. Doc Holliday knows all about that. 10th season here at Marshall, 2nd in victories. 74, looking for number 75 today, and Western Kentucky will get the ball first. Marshall kicking it away. Temperature 64 degrees. Wind not much of a factor. Rain could become a factor a bit later. There is a chance for rain this afternoon. Homecoming, glad to have you with us in a game that could decide the East Division Championship. Underway, and the 25-yard line is where Western Kentucky will start on offense. And Tyson Helton was telling us it's kind of against his nature to run the offense the way he has, because he knows what a great defense he has. He's not running pedal to the metal right now. They're just not making mistakes, and that's been enough.
Yeah, he truly wants his offense to be game managers. You hear about quarterbacks being game managers at times, and what that means is just take care of the ball, don't make the big mistake. You don't have to push the ball down the field too much, but when those opportunities are there, you need to capitalize on them.
And Gage Walker is pretty much an every down back for Western Kentucky. He gets the call on first down and picks up good yardage. 5 yards to the 30-yard line. Walker was recruited here by the offensive coordinator Brian Ellis back when Ellis was here under the previous regime, and he came out of a high school concept where they ran the wing T, and he was the running back in that. So that's why they moved him over from the defensive side last year. Pass complete right at the first down marker, and that's Quinn Jernigan on the reception, and they'll give him the first down.
You can see Ty Story getting the ball out of his hands so quick. Now, Marshall, this defense has 15 sacks through the last 2 football games they have played, and they knew it was going to be a test today because Ty Story consistently gets rid of the ball on time and doesn't give a whole lot of opportunities for opposing defenses to get after him.
It could be a big upset in college football today. Kansas State up 3 scores on Oklahoma. Story complete once again, this time to Lucky Jackson, the #1 wide receiver, leads the team in receiving yards with 404. Had a touchdown catch and a touchdown pass last week.
Lucky Jackson, these coaches can't say enough about this guy. The ultimate leader. Said he coaches the young receivers. Obviously a big physical wide receiver out there that at any time can go the distance.
They'll take a breather. 2nd first down on this opening drive for Western Kentucky. And they give the end around. Look out for the pass. The lefty throws it, and it's intercepted. Right place, right time. He stayed home. That one kind of floated. Western Kentucky used a flea flicker and a wide receiver pass last week. Marshall said they were ready for any kind of trickery.
You see Sloan taking the end around. He's left-handed, so he should feel more comfortable throwing this way. That may be a ball that Coach Helton just wants him to pull it down and try to get a few positive yards rushing, because when you go up and do this is exactly what we said. Limit the big mistake, and Western makes a huge one on the first drive.
It's exactly what they haven't been doing on offense this season. Marshall taking over at the 42-yard line, and there they go to a tight end right away. It's Armani Levias. And he picks up close to 5 yards on first down. Isaiah Green, the quarterback, is the Conference USA co-freshman of the year. And this season hasn't had to do a ton through the air. A lot of plays in the flat. But every now and then they'll stretch the defense with guys like Willie Johnson, who's averaging 26 yards per reception. Another pass to start the game for Marshall. Pocket holds as they only send 4. Great protection and positive yardage. Must have been even better coverage from that Western Kentucky secondary. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Isaiah Green has tons and tons of time back here in the pocket. You can see the Marshall offensive line handling the 4 rushers for Western. Makes a smart decision, pulls it down, and gets some positive yardage here and sets up a 3rd and short.
Third down and 3 from near midfield. Brendan Knox bursting to the outside for a first down on his first carry of the game. Knox has really had to step up here for Marshall. They dismissed Tyler King at the running back position after a couple games, and Knox has been the bell cow back, the redshirt sophomore out of Columbus.
He looks good. You can tell he's very, very confident in his abilities too, and they count on him. They're going to be counting on him all day. And this Western defense, they have been stout all year long.
First down and gains to throw it, a backwards pass, so this is going to go down as a run in the stat sheet. Xavier Gaines. You got a wildcat package for him as well. He's a tight end, but he can move, he can throw, he can do it all.
He can play pretty much every position on the field, and it just gives you so much freedom. If you're the offensive coordinator, Tim Cramsey, and you can tell he really enjoys having this stable of tight ends that you can move all over the place, create mismatches all over for opposing defenses. You really have to have a plan on what you're going to do when they have 1 tight end, 2 tight ends, 3 in the game.
And here comes Knox off the left side. Great blocking once again, and a first down close to the 25-yard line.
Here we go. We see a nice little zone read here, and look at this hole right here. We have just an absolute alleyway for Knox. Armani Levias was up there and looks like he got a bit confused and was going to bypass the defender. He just gets a body on him. He may get an extra 5 or 6 yards for Knox.
Still results in a first down with 10:48 to go here in the first. Gaines play fake, going to the end zone. Man has a step. It's a touchdown. Armani Levias with his 3rd touchdown reception of the season.
Armani Levias on Trey Meadows, one-on-one. Meadows is actually in decent coverage there. He's in his hip pocket, but he just doesn't close and gives enough space for Armani Levias to have an easy touchdown catch to start this game.
They turn that turnover into a touchdown. They get the interception from Carrion Morrell. And 6 plays, 58 yards later, they're in the house.
We talked about mismatches, Chris. Armani Levias, wherever he is, it's a mismatch. He's a 6'4", 255-pound tight end. That's definitely a mismatch on really any corner on the field.
Great start for the home team here on Homecoming. 7-0 Marshall. No commercials here on Facebook. We send it down to Kristen Balboni.
That's right, Chris. Well, we are going to start off with our first poll of the game, and this is brought to you by Wendy's. We're going to keep it nice and simple. We just want to know which team you are rooting for. The poll is going to pop up at the bottom of your screen, and if you want to, we would love to see how you vote, and that one will be showing the poll results by the end of this break. So while we wait for you to vote, I'm going to read some some Facebook comments, where everyone is watching from. Anthony says, "Go Tops" from Bowling Green. Allison is rooting for the Tops. Mike is watching from Kissimmee, Florida. Jim says, "Go Herd." Jacob is watching from Israel, and he is supporting the Tops. That's very cool. Brian is pulling for Marshall from Pittsburgh. Gary watching in the Dominican Republic, pulling for the Herd today. I wonder if Gary is from there, lives there, or if he's on vacation. I'd like to know that. Carol Hammond says, "Let's go Herd." Keaton, mama number 9. She's got to be feeling good right now about what the Marshall team just went and did. And Dog is watching from Detroit. He says, "Go Tops." Lois says, "Go Herd" from Florida. So we love those comments. Keep them coming. We appreciate all of you being here to watch the game with us. And remember, you can post on Instagram using that hashtag WKUVSHerd. All right, here are the results. Guys, I got to say, I'm surprised by this. I thought it was going to be much more evenly split. We know how active that Western Kentucky fan base is, although so is Marshall. So I'm surprised by this.
I thought it would be more Western Kentucky fans watching. Where are you at, Toppers?
They're showing up in the comments, I will say that.
Okay. Vocal. Maybe not happy, but long way to go here. They were moving the ball on the opening drive. They picked up a couple first downs, but then an interception thrown by the wide receiver, Jaquez Sloan, who is back deep to receive this second kick of the game from Marshall. And Western Kentucky is a low-scoring team. They only average 22 points per game this season, so they can't afford to fall too far behind early. Sloan from a yard deep has some blocking. And a great return out to the 36. Looked like he was down, and that is the ruling. No fumble. Hit the ground first. Take another look at this.
Sloan trying to make up for that interception he threw on the previous drive here. Just a good blocking scheme here by Western. The ball's coming out at the very end. Looks like his left knee was, he is clearly down. Left and right knee down. Western starts out with some solid field position here. Needs to make sure they don't make the critical mistake that they had to start this game.
Thanks to the 1,800 people who voted in our first of many Facebook polls today. Majority of you rooting for the Thundering Herd, off to a 7-0 start. And Gage Walker patiently working that left side.
Watch him just kind of patter his feet, patter, slide, shuffle, let the blocks happen, and then you cut directly off your big offensive lineman doing the dirty work in front of you.
Story steps up to the line with still 20 seconds remaining on the play clock. Tyson Helton, the head coach, also calls the plays for this Hilltoppers offense. And a nice route by Lucky Jackson. And a good run after the catch as well. Into Marshall territory, marked out at the 44-yard line.
Lucky Jackson, just a nice little pitch and catch here at the sticks, but watch this move as soon as he catches the ball. The little stutter inside to make Kerryon Merrill believe that he's going to cut inside, and you get to turn back and pick up an extra 6 or 7 yards. Just a subtle little vet move there from Lucky Jackson, the 5th-year senior.
As Coach Tyson Helton calls him the backbone of the team. Give it to Walker once more, and gets a couple. Taken down by Tyler Brown in the linebacker position, who had a couple sacks and a safety last week. Marquise Couch was also in on that stop.
You'll see Western doing this a lot today. They're going to get to the line of scrimmage, see what the defense is giving them. Right here, if they don't like the look or they want to snap it, they can, but a lot of times they're going to do this and check with me, look at the coaches, and see if we're going to stay with this or go to another play.
And they hand it off. Walker spinning close to the 35. They'll mark it at the 36-yard line, 2 yards short of a first down, and it's 3rd and short.
Chris, I know we mentioned the tight ends for Marshall in the open, but Keep an eye on number 6, Josh Simon, the true freshman tight end for Western Kentucky. He has come in, already has 4 touchdown catches on the year, but they move him all around the formations, and he is a huge weapon.
Play action throw, single coverage, but it's a sack. Didn't have enough time, and the ball is out. Marshall has it. 2 turnovers to start the game for Western Kentucky. And it's Carry-On Morrell again in the right place at the right time.
Marquise Couch just beats the tackle here. Sack, cause fumble, recovered by Morrell. Guess what? Ty Story was about to throw that ball to Josh Simon, running a wheel route out of the backfield. Simon, the tight end, was lined up in a traditional fullback position right in front of the tailback, Gage Walker. Coverage was spot on out there, so you saw Story just have to pull it down. And Marquise Couch capitalizes on it and gives this offense the ball back again. It's good field position.
Ball just slipped out of his hands. And now Marshall looks to capitalize again. But nothing doing there as Jawan Jones, the defensive lineman, hems in, knocks, and throws him down for a loss of 2.
Yeah, Jawan Jones is a heck of a football player opposite of D'Angelo Malone. He doesn't get talked about as much, doesn't have as gaudy stats, but he's right here on the left edge. He plays very well complementary football to D'Angelo Malone. Jawan Jones, a bigger guy, stout, more of a bull rusher type. D'Angelo Malone, more of a speed rusher, has multiple different moves, and they really play well off each other.
Green has all day again. And it's complete. What a catch by Brock Thompson. And what a run after the catch. To the 3-yard line. The defender was hanging on his jersey while that ball was in the air. And it didn't matter.
Deontay Ruffin, you'll see on the left side of your screen, he has solid coverage on Brock Thompson the whole time. This turned into a back shoulder ball almost, to where Ruffin got lost at the top of the route. As you see, Brock Thompson not only catches the ball, but gets some nice yards after the catch to put this ball inside the 5.
Now a heavy backfield. It's a quarterback keeper. It's touchdown, Thundering Herd. The Marshall D has forced 2 turnovers, and Isaiah Green has led them down for 2 touchdowns.
This just shows the athleticism by Green. Athleticism, speed to get the edge. He's always a weapon when he has the ball in his hands, whether throwing or passing. He's done it all already today, early in this game, and they are capitalizing on the mistakes made by Western Kentucky's offense.
3 plays, 56 yards. It took just over a minute. And it's danger time now for a Western Kentucky team that only averages 22 points per game. Kristen?
Well, Chris, you were right. You said before the game, I think it's going to rain again. It is starting to rain down here, but not even that can damp down the enthusiasm from Marshall fans right now. This is their homecoming week, and it's been a fun week for them already. And you got to think that they are feeling good right now about the way this football game is going. So we just saw the bonfire right there. That kicks things off. And also this parade, I heard that Johnny Bench was at the parade, which is pretty awesome. Great way to start this off. This was on Thursday. A lot of fun there. And I love this. I love this all green fire truck. That is pretty awesome. And then, so if that wasn't enough for homecoming, at 10:30 this morning, Marshall broke ground on its 3,500 seat state-of-the-art baseball stadium. It was a big part of the homecoming events this weekend, as you might have imagined. So construction on the facility was going to begin in the spring, with the official opening scheduled for March 2021. They are very fired up about this baseball stadium, and they had some some alums here, 2 MLB All-Stars, Jeff Montgomery and Rick Reed. So Chris, it's been a great start to homecoming weekend so far, and you got to feel like the fans are pretty happy about the way that it is shaping up right now.
It can't be going any better than it is right now. The defense has forced 2 turnovers in 2 possessions, and the offense has turned it into a 14-0 lead for Doc Holliday's bunch against the first place Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. And this is not a Topper team built to score a lot of points and make some comebacks. They're going to have to do it today. This game brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the NCAA. Marshall to kick it away after its 2nd touchdown of the game. And this one taken in a yard deep and taken out once again by Western Kentucky. And there's all kinds of room for Dayton Wade. 2nd straight time they've had a great return. Now let's see if the offense can hang on to the football. Wade brings that back 45 yards to the 43-yard line. 14-0 Marshall with 6:46 to go here in the first quarter. Kristen?
Hey, Chris, well, just FYI, I've gone with the hat here. So have all of the fans. We are all
Smart
trying
move.
to keep track. Thank you very much. Remember, we want all of you to post on Instagram. We're loving all the comments, all of the poll reaction, but make sure you're posting on Instagram using that hashtag WKUVSHerd. If you use that hashtag, post a picture, then we will show it here on this game. And I know both of these fan bases love to post pictures. We've had the privilege of doing a bunch of games with both of these fan bases before. This one is coming from our Stadium Scenes account. These were the pregame festivities back when it was a little bit drier earlier today. There's that hashtag right there, and everyone is out in full force enjoying homecoming. That looks delicious. Now, are those, I think we got the Aunt Jemimas going here. You know, it's one of the cool things about having these earlier games. Usually you see the barbecue out there, but I'm all about the pancake pregame. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Usually it's just a bunch of meat in the Midwest where I'm from. Well, they're not going to be grilling up any bison. Marco's safe.
I saw Marco busting a move down here earlier. We know Big Red on the WKU sideline is busting a move, but Marco's got some moves. I love that. The cheerleaders bringing everything in. So again, if you want to see your pictures, just use that hashtag that you see right up there on the screen, WKUVSHerd. All right, so we had the breakfast earlier, but
corn on the cob?
Get some of that, Kristen.
Shrimp boil right there.
Oh, it's shrimp. I thought that was just a bunch of pieces of corn.
I'm told on good authority from John that it is
yeah, there is
the
corn
shrimp
in there.
bowl.
But yeah, shrimp as well.
The shrimp had not been added yet, I am being told. John's got all the information.
Potatoes here, corn.
Can I just tell you, I love AJ circling stuff on the telestrator from the pictures.
Just trying to dissect it, Kristen, really paint a picture for everybody.
Poor AJ had to suck down the roast beef sandwich that we had for lunch up here. Western Kentucky, good field position once again. But they've turned it over a couple times near midfield to start this game. And now it's on the offense to put some points on the board. Gage Walker once again on the carry, picks up close to 5 on first down.
This Marshall team has a lot of success too historically when they get out to a fast start. And you mentioned it, Chris, Western Kentucky is not really built to play from behind. They're used to being in close battles, but they are not really built to play from behind. So they need to find a way to get some points on the board here, not let this one get away from them.
In that Louisville game, they lost 38-21. Lucky Jackson with another first down reception at the 44-yard line of Marshall. The good news is for Western Kentucky, you've shown that you can move the ball. But this Marshall defense, built like a lot of old school defenses, like Doc Holliday is, old school coach, they'll give up yards between the 20s. Their goal is to keep you out of the end zone.
Yeah, we know in college football today, teams are going to put up some yards. You know that. They're going to move the ball, but The real question is, how do you stand up in the red zone defensively? Are you forcing field goal attempts, keeping them out of the end zone as much as possible? If you can force field goal attempts, you're going to win a lot of football games.
1st and 10, and Ty Story uses the pump fake, going up top to Lucky. He's got it in the red zone. Great start to this game for Lucky Jackson. 4 catches over 50 yards already.
Lucky Jackson really had a breakout game last week against Charlotte. The double move here successful, working on Kerryon Morrell on the outside. That's a matchup I think they will come back to throughout the day. But now we're inside the red zone too. I think Lucky Jackson even becomes more of a target here with his big frame in the red zone. Also, Josh Simon, number 6.
It's a quarterback keeper, and nothing doing for Ty Story. Stacked up by the boys in Kelly Green. Channing Hames in there.
Yeah, a little broken play here. The high snap messes up the QB running back exchange there, so Story can't get the ball into his stomach for that mesh. So it turns into a little broken play where Story has to just eat it and try to find a way to get a positive yard and keep moving.
Western Kentucky 80 yards so far, but 2 turnovers. And that pass deflected. Almost hung up for Chris Jackson, but deflected at the line of scrimmage. He was looking for Lucky. And now it's 3rd and 9.
Chris Jackson, the DB covering Lucky Jackson's probably pretty happy that ball got deflected, because Lucky Jackson tried to stop and come back to the ball, and Chris grabbed a hold of him and completely encumbered him coming back to that ball. But when it's tipped, it doesn't matter.
Walker again, the running back. Story with time, but now feels the pressure, and he's sacked. Technically not a sack because he crossed the line of scrimmage. And he kind of crumbled in a hurry. He was not looking to buy time and wait that out. There was nobody open.
Yeah, Story wanted to pull the trigger, but credit to this Marshall defense. You look in the secondary, there is nothing doing downfield. Nobody is open. Story doesn't want to try to force one in and cause another turnover for Western, so hopefully they can be successful with this field goal and get some points on the board.
Corey Munson from 32 yards, and that one's wide left. And the rough start continues for the Hilltoppers. Munson now just 10 for 18. Make that 10 for 17 this season, kicking field goals. He missed a couple last week. And that's a big blow to not get any points. Snap and the hold were fine. He just yanked it.
I don't know if we have any tighter looks, but it looks like he kicked the laces there. You talk to any kicker, they will tell you how tough it is. I can't be 100% sure, but it definitely looked like the laces weren't spun around and may not have had enough time to set that up for him.
Great moves in the open field by Sheldon Evans. He's more elusive than Brendan Knox, the starter, and they really like what he can do because he's a little bit of a change of pace, and they aren't worried about him in pass pro. I think he can do every bit as much as Brendan Knox.
Yeah, he's a great changeup from Brendan Knox. He's still a physical runner, as you can see how he finishes this one. But they really have multiple running backs they feel really good about being in the game for Marshall.
And it's another one of those backward passes, and it's going to be a throw from Xavier Gaines, and he overshoots Willie Johnson. Ran that play earlier in this quarter, and Gaines just took it and ran with it. That was setting up this.
Western's all over this. They are not fooled. I feel like both teams, and first off, that was Trey Meadows in coverage. Credit to him for not falling asleep on that play and staying in coverage. But both defenses have to be alert for trick plays. Western's offense has executed some trick plays throughout the season. You always have to trust your fundamentals defensively and hope that'll get you off the field.
Gaines now 1 for 3 passing this season. Former 4-star quarterback. And a big down here for Western Kentucky. They need to get off the field, prove that they can stop this Marshall offense and try to get it back to their offense. Moving the ball, just can't get it in the end zone. Just can't hang on to it. 2 turnovers and a missed field goal for Western Kentucky on the first 3 drives of the game. For Marshall, their first 2 drives resulted in a touchdown. They're faced with a 3rd and 6. Green going deep again for Gaines. Flags. And that'll be defensive pass interference. 2 flags come out. Now, Western Kentucky's trying to say that should be on Gaines. I didn't see anything from him. He just tried to go over the top and make a catch. Official today, John Nolly.
Pass interference, defense, number 15. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Number 15 to Corian Darden, who plays nickel. He actually has pretty good coverage. That's a tough call right there. He got there. If he wouldn't have turned his head around, I would have understood an interference call. But the fact that Darden got to where he wanted to, he kind of got in the hip pocket and turned his head. You'll see that one sometimes not called as well. So you got to find a way to regroup if you're Western's defense and just find a way to get a stop or possibly a turnover.
Yeah, that's a tough call. Play clock under 10. Thought they were getting off the field, but instead, first down Marshall at the 40. Evans again, this time stacked up after a gain of a half yard on first down. Evans also a redshirt sophomore, so both Evans and Knox, the 2 running backs, are young, along with the quarterback, Isaiah Green, redshirt sophomore. Ohio State blows out Wisconsin. Maybe the most impressive team so far this season in college football. It looks like Oklahoma may drop its first game of the season at Kansas State. And they've got the wave going. That's the cheering you hear here at the Joan. Keeper for Gaines. And he picks up 5. All Marshall here in this opening quarter.
Yeah, it really is. Western's just trying to find a way to stop the bleeding. They've done pretty much everything that you don't want to do starting out a game. Throw an interception on the first drive on a trick play, reverse pass, get a sack, fumble that the defense recovers later on, and now your defense is just hanging on, trying to keep Marshall out of the end zone.
Handed off on third down, and a good open field tackle to save what looked like was going to be a first down, and a flex from Antoine Kincaid because he made a tough stop on Sheldon Evans, 2 yards short of a first down.
Yeah, Kincaid, that is a deserving flex for him. He should stand up. He can do whatever he wants after a stop like that, forcing a 4th down. He was the lone defender. That's his job, coming in there to fill that gap, and guess what? He got it filled, and he found a way to make it physical, forcing a 4th down. Let's see if Western can stand up or if this Marshall offense continues to have success.
They're showing like they're going to go for it on 4th and 2. They will. Here's Knox. He's got it. And almost skipped through to the end zone.
Jawan Jones here is unblocked, really. He's the unblocked defender on that zone read. He kind of gave an in-between read to where he didn't take the quarterback or the back right away. So Isaiah Green hands it off to Knox, and Knox is able to use his physicality to fall forward and pick up a huge 4th down conversion.
And that'll take us to the end of a Kelly Green first quarter. All Marshall in this battle for the inside track to the Conference USA East Division title. Western Kentucky in a whole heap of trouble, down 14-0.
a great matchup for you.
Touchdown! There may be a better play the rest of the day.
I know what I did in that box.
Tiger will win a major again.
Possible shot. That's what I'm talking about.
Mental health affects us all, whether you finish first or last.
Whether you win or lose.
The stigma around these issues causes those around us to suffer in silence.
Mental health is nothing to be ashamed of.
You are not alone.
You are not alone. As a student athlete,
As a teammate,
as a friend,
we pledge to continue the conversation.
because it matters.
because you matter.
stand up to the stigma.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Continue the conversation.
You are not alone.
Now that's the theme of homecoming this year for Marshall. Marshall rises. And they are on top here at the end of the first quarter. 14-0 lead. And they didn't even get the ball first. They turned 2 Western Kentucky turnovers into 2 touchdowns, and they're driving again after picking up a first down on 4th and 2. They're 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line of Western Kentucky. And they told us they were going to have a major announcement after the first quarter. Tell us exactly what that major announcement would be, but Kristen Balboni will fill us in on that in just a moment. So take a look at the first quarter numbers. Western's been able to move the football, but 2 turnovers and a missed 32-yard field goal. 4 of their 5 wins this season, they've scored 20 or fewer points. They win games by keeping teams off the scoreboard. But they're going to have to score a lot in this one to win. Last week they reached the 30-point mark for the first time all season in a 30-14 win over Charlotte. Underway second quarter. Brendan Knox the handoff. A good yardage on first down. 5, maybe 6.
Marshall wants to keep this momentum rolling. This crowd is into it. They're ready to roll. They're looking to get more points on the board, and it doesn't seem like Marshall's offense is taking their foot off the gas. They're trying to roll.
Knox gets away from Juwan Jones, but can't get away from A.J. Brathwaite and Kyle Bailey. And a big loss behind the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Juwan Jones just swipes the blocker out of the way. He may not get credit for the tackle, but he did all of the work for that. Forces Knox outside, strings it out until help comes from inside out, and forces another 3rd and long here. Let's see if they heat him up, try to get some pressure on Isaiah Green.
3rd and 11 after the big loss. They're on the edge of field goal range. Low snap. Green rolls out of it, throws to the end zone, almost intercepted. And double coverage down there, and Antoine Kincaid got his hands on it. And now we'll see if Marshall sends out the field goal unit, which they do.
Watch Juwan Jones right there. Trying to block him with the tight end, Devin Miller. I don't know if I like that matchup all day long if I'm Marshall. Juwan Jones is able to go underneath and flush Isaiah Green, so he's kind of running in peril, trying to find the open receiver downfield, forcing the field goal.
Justin Rohrwasser, perfect on the season, and it stays that way. 46-yard field goal, and it's 17-0 Marshall. Rohrwasser now 8 for 8, one of 9 perfect kickers heading into the day in college football.
I like it. I like the forearm tattoos. I like all of it. Good thing he didn't jinx him either.
That was a career-long field goal for Rohrwasser.
Wow, sure didn't look like he didn't have to give it any extra juice. He made that thing look easy.
And we're We're told that the major announcement was a fundraising effort for Marshall. They've raised millions and millions of dollars, and it's going to be used for various improvements in athletics. Very proud of that.
Is any of it going towards that new baseball stadium they just broke ground on? Do we know?
Well, that's $20 million right there. Gotta think that's part of it. Western Kentucky has had success on kick returns, and they have success once more. Jaquez Sloan out across the 30. That's 3 straight returns of 30-plus yards. Sloan a bit hobbled.
Sloan with another explosive return here. And Western's been not only moving the ball in offense, running, passing. Their return game has been solid, but they have 0 points to show when they're down 17-0 right now. They just need to catch a break and find a way, maybe have a big play over the top and try to steal some of this momentum back from this home crowd here in Marshall, because both sides of the ball seem to be playing with a lot of confidence for Marshall right now.
It's a handoff and all kinds of room. Joshua Samuel into the secondary and taken down by the last line of defense. Micah Abraham with a touchdown saving tackle. Just the 4th carry of the season for Joshua Samuel. He was their leading rusher last year. Gage Walker has taken over the starting duties, but looks like Samuel's going to get this drive. He's still out there.
Like we said, they've been moving the ball. Just got to find a way to punch it in.
Beg your pardon, that's Keyshawn McClendon who's out there. Only 4 carries all season for McClendon. Lucky Jackson makes the reception, minimal yardage. Mark it at the 39, pickup of 3 on first down.
Lucky Jackson going to get a lot of targets today. You can tell he and Ty Story have a nice relationship. They have a good feel for each other. Ty Story definitely trusts Lucky Jackson and knows he's not going to hang him out to dry.
McClendon gets taken down. Tavante Beckett with the great stop. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down.
Tavante Beckett, the leading tackler on this Marshall defense. This guy can run. Plays the will linebacker. He is so athletic. Plays very well in coverage. Very stout in the run game. He can play on the other side of the line of scrimmage. As a blitzer, tackles for a loss. He can do it all.
Might be 4th-down territory here for the Toppers. They won't need a 4th down, though. Lucky Jackson making his 6th reception of the first half.
Lucky Jackson just using that big body to kind of box out Stephen Gilmore. You get a defender on your back like that, especially on a 3rd down conversion, and you're beyond the sticks. That's almost a guarantee that he's not going to be able to fight through your body and break that pass up.
Look at how things have gone the first 3 drives. An interception, a fumble, a 32-yard missed field goal. Story under pressure, swings it out in the flat to Jackson. He'll lose yardage. Loss of 3 yards. Would have been better just throwing it away.
Western's offense trying some misdirection there. You'll watch Lucky Jackson right there kind of get caught up in the backfield with the running back. It was almost like Marshall was baiting them to throw that one. Okay, hey, throw it. We know you're going to lose yardage on that. I want you to throw that.
Amari Cobb daring him. He's laying in wait. 2nd and 13 after the loss of 3 on a pass. See if this Marshall defense bows up again. It's a handoff to Walker. Tries to cut it back, nothing doing. Kobe Cumberlander strung it out, and it's 3rd and long.
Chris, this play was made by number 32, Tyler Brown. Watch him on the left side of your screen come up and set the edge. You see him right there, sets the edge, makes the back cut back. Everyone's rallying inside out. He's not going to get credit for the tackle there, but Tyler Brown made that play happen.
Good call, AJ. Fans making noise here on 3rd and 13. Story has running room. Let's see if he takes off. He gets sacked. Indecision spells doom for Western Kentucky. Marked at the 35, so if they try to attempt a field goal, it'll be a 52-yarder. Their longest this season is 48.
Tyler Brown again, they're all dropping into zone coverage. In front of the sticks, keep everything in front of you. Darius Hodge gets in on that one. He is the sack leader for this team with 6 currently. He may get at least a half a sack for that one.
What a game Tyler Brown is playing after his 2-sack and safety performance last week at FAU. And they won't even try a field goal. It's a punt to try to pin him deep. And oh my goodness! That's as good as it can be done. But they will say touchback. So it was not as good as it could be done. Deontay Ruffin was right there, but let's see. Ball crosses the plane. His feet don't touch the line, though. So what's the call?
It's a heck of a job by the camera operators here. Are they saying once the next person came down and touched it, that then it touched the line? I don't get how that was not.
Couldn't see if that ever came back.
Half-yard line.
The ball certainly crossed the line, but in college football, as long as you stay on the right side of the line, don't touch that paint, it should be fine. But the officials say no, it's a touchback. So they bring it out to the 20-yard line. Down to Kristen Balboni.
Hey, Chris, well, we've got some Instagram pictures that we promised that we would show if you went and sent them in using that hashtag WKUVSHeard. And now not only might you get your pictures shown on this broadcast, if you're lucky, you could have AJ Hawk telestrate on them if they are good. So keep those pictures coming throughout the game using that hashtag WKUVSHeard, and we will be talking about them. All right, let's see what we got here. This is from Kelly Rohrwasser. Well, I gotta say that's probably a relation to Rohrwasser, the kicker, right? There's no doubt about it. I don't think that last name is common. Says, let's go Hurt. Oh, yeah, there we go. Go Uncle Justin. If I just read a little bit further, then I would have known that without asking. Love that a lot. All right, they're using that hashtag right there. Oh, my goodness. We got our first dog picture of the game, guys. Second quarter.
First of many, we hope.
Yes, we all love him, no doubt about it. Got to say that shirt fits him nicely. Love that a lot. Keep those pictures coming using that hashtag you see on the screen.
Let's look once again at what was called a touchback here. And the ball obviously is across the plane, but the player never was. Now, Deontay Ruffin threw that back into the field of play. The question is now, does the second player who eventually downed the football touch the end zone? Doesn't matter. They don't look at it. And Marshall starts at the 20-yard line. So close, AJ. So close from being a perfect punt.
Yeah, I believe it was Clayton Bush who came in second and placed that on about the half-yard line. I wonder if they're saying the ball crossed the plane here. Let's watch. He throws it back, but it's already down.
And he lays it down there at the 1. So that's that. Got to move on. And Western Kentucky defense trying to make its first stop of the game. They allowed back-to-back touchdowns to start the game, and then a field goal last drive for a defense that's only giving up 18 points per game. That's 17th in the nation. Marshall 1 for 3 on third downs, but they had a third down pass interference that gave him a first down, and he went for it on fourth down and got it on the last drive. His pass is caught, but a good open field tackle by Antoine Kincaid to force a punt for the first time in this game.
Western heats him up a little bit, brings some pressure there, makes Isaiah Green throw that ball a little sooner than he would have liked and force a punt here and try to get some decent field position out of this if you're Western and find a way to get something going offensively.
Robert Lefevre to punt it away. It's a low line driver and a fair catch at the 39-yard line by Western Kentucky and Roger Cray. 6:48 to play here in the first half. 17-0 Marshall. Kristen?
Chris, you know where I'm going with this. We got to show the rest of those Instagram pictures. Everyone is using that hashtag WKUVSHerd. You know, we left off with a dog picture in the last break, and we're picking it back up with some absolutely adorable dogs. Mook Coop and Mama French Fry, excuse me. Mookie Cooper and Charlotte watching the game. They're return dogs. We have seen these dogs before, no doubt about it. So glad to have them back. Marshall dogs right there. Love that. Keep the pictures coming. Oh, this is very sweet. Destiny Day Butler says, Bristol Butler is yelling for her fave team, WKU Go Tops. Absolutely adorable. Keep these pictures coming throughout the game, guys. Oh, that's nice right there. Young Herd fan with the face paint. Gotta love that. His shirt, too. I need to get one of those. They're pretty cool. Looks like he's having a good time here at homecoming. Revis927 says, watching the Herd with the North Dakota Marshall Alumni Club. Go Herd, that's pretty awesome. We're all getting together in North Dakota to check out this game. You gotta think that they're feeling pretty good right now up there in North Dakota Marshall Alumni Club, no doubt about it. Love all of these pictures coming in. This one is from Dave Anderson. He says, WKU vs Herd, cheering on the Herd from Louisville, Kentucky. Thanks for joining us, Dave. Keep these pictures coming throughout the game. Rocky R90 says supporting the Herd from beautiful Tampa Bay, Florida, where I think the weather is just a little bit different down there than it is here in Huntington today. All right, we love seeing those. We're going to have some polls coming your way in just a little bit. And as always, we love your comments.
That we do, Kristen. See a bunch of Hilltopper fans in attendance today. Low 60s and a little bit of mist. Coming up next Saturday, we are going to be in Houston. Kristen, AJ, and myself for Marshall and Rice, 3:30 Eastern Time, exclusively on Facebook. Stadium, welcome to the game. Rice still winless this season. And Western Kentucky takes over from the 39, and that pass is complete for the first down and more to Ja'Cour Pearson. Shifty redshirt junior from Fort Lauderdale. Mark it at the 49-yard line. It's a first down.
Pearson matched up here on, you see Tyler Brown, who has been productive today and last week, but it's tough duty for a linebacker to be covering a shifty receiver like Pearson.
Quick in from Lucky Jackson, but the throw was a little bit behind him. Shaky start to this one for Story, who lost a fumble on the second drive of the game. Just hasn't looked like himself in the pocket when he hasn't seen any receivers break open. Lucky Jackson with his 8th reception of the first half. Little John with Stephen Gilmore. Picks up 9, so it's 3rd down and 1.
Story's going to Jackson the whole way. Stephen Gilmore gives him a little bit of cushion. Picks up 9 yards here, 3rd and 1. Let's see if they're in 4-down territory if they don't get this one, Chris. Can't feel real confident in your kicking game. Obviously, they're a little too far backed up to attempt a field goal if they don't get it, but
it's a quarterback sneak and stacked up right at the first down marker. The officials will stop the clock, so it's close enough at least for a measurement. It might be a first down.
Yeah, I think they might give him this. Depends on the spot, but
they will. First down. That was really close.
Yeah, design QB run here. Bringing a polar around and just making Story the running back. Looks like even a little miscommunication almost on that offensive line for Western, but they're still able to pick this up. The crowd doesn't like the spot, Chris.
They thought at the very least they should measure. It was a good stick by Amari Cobb, but they only needed a yard. Play clock runs out, but the chains weren't set when they started running that play clock. They had a hard time moving those chains forward, and the officials took a while to signal the first down, so I think they'll put more time on the clock. They've stopped the game clock at 5:02. Tyson Helton in his first season, the brother of Clay, and he coached under Clay Helton at USC a couple of years ago. Team that won the Rose Bowl with Sam Darnold. He was on the Western Kentucky staff under Jeff Brom. And when he left, he said, if I ever get a chance to come back, I'm going to take it. He didn't think it would only be in 3 years. Story has all kinds of time, goes deep and overshoots the intended receiver, Quinn Jernigan.
Story was looking for Lucky Jackson early on in this play, but Chris Jackson was all over Lucky Jackson on the outside, so he throws it to Jernigan, but solid coverage by Morrell on the back end here.
Throwing again. It's caught by Pearson. It'll be a couple of yards short of a first down at the 33-yard line.
You would think that Ty Story in this Western offense has got to start looking in the direction of Josh Simon, tight end number 6, who actually has come off the field here on his big third down, which makes me think that they're going to try to run this ball. But I would be looking for Simon in the pass game for sure, especially in the red zone.
Gage Walker, the running back, on 3rd and 2. They hand it to Walker. He's got the first down, cuts it right up the seam. Walker inside the 10. Walker rolls over the pylon. Touchdown, Western Kentucky.
This is exactly what they needed, Chris. This Western offense has been moving the ball well all day. And they just needed to break one and find a way to kind of pop that bubble and get over the edge. And Gage Walker is the man for that. The vision to cut back across the defense there. When you have defenders turning their back in the middle of the defense, you've done something right. And Gage Walker finds out where there's some open land, and he has the speed to make it. And now the crowd is booing. They want to review this to see if he got in, but looks like it's moving forward, and they're giving the 6 to Western.
Yeah, they looked at it. Every scoring play reviewed, and it will stand. The extra point, ugly, but good, from Corey Munson. And it's 17-7. Western Kentucky is on the board after the 33-yard run from Gage Walker. The only thing he didn't do, AJ, was switch hands with the football.
He didn't. It would have made that a little bit easier here, I think. He definitely had great ball security with the ball in his left, but that scares me right there. You see when a defender's coming in, Johnson rips at it, does the right thing, but that ball looks like it hits the pylon, and Western is good to go, getting their first points of the day. Yep, ball crosses the pylon before his foot looks like it was out of bounds. That's a good call. 17-7, and Western's on the board.
And I think it was the right call. I mean, the way that ball was positioned, the way his body spun, looked like that ball was right over the pylon when a piece of him touched out of bounds. And it's exactly what Western Kentucky needed. They finally stopped the Marshall offense for the first time all game. Get it back, goes 7 plays, 61 yards in 2 minutes and 34 seconds. And it's a 10-point game. So who's the best pro prospect in today's game? launching that poll for you right now on Facebook. You tell us. Jawan Jones, D'Angelo Malone, who leads the nation in tackles for loss. Levi Brown, the great center for Marshall. And Armani Levias, who leads this Marshall team in receptions. The results starting to come in. It's pretty close between a trio of players. Levi Brown 32%, D'Angelo Malone moving ahead with 33%, and then there's Armani Levias. What do you think, AJ?
I think I might have to go with well, not the majority now, but D'Angelo Malone. I just like his versatility. I think if he gets put in the right system at the next level, he can be a game wrecker. Coaches love when a guy is versatile. What do you want to play? Outside backer in a 3-4, D-end in a 4-3. I think he's more suited to be an outside linebacker in a 3-4 type scheme, but I think he's a heck of a player.
Well, our fresh or frozen fan of the game is brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the NCAA. You think she'd like a hamburger? Yes, she sure would. Youngster decked out with Kelly Green. Great start to this game for Marshall. But Western Kentucky gets right back in it. And we'll see if they can keep the momentum going into halftime. Marshall will get it at the 25-yard line after the touchback with 4:14 to play here in the first half. In a big matchup in the CUSA East. Marshall 4-3 overall, 2-1 in conference play. They've won 2 in a row. Western Kentucky 5-2 overall, the only unbeaten in the division at 4-0, and they've won 4 straight games overall. The turnaround it's been for this Western Kentucky program after starting last season 1-9. They got back-to-back wins to end the season, but it wasn't good enough to save Mike Sanford's job. He was fired. And they brought in Tyson Helton for some old glory days. He was running those great offenses 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago here for Western Kentucky. He said back then that they needed to score 40 plus a game to win anything. It's a lot different now. The defense is actually good.
Yeah, it really is. And let's see if this Western defense kind of settles into the game now. The pace is slowed down. Marshall's taking their time. See if Western can get another big stop and give their offense another chance to try to get some points on the board before half.
It's Trey Meadows who made that tackle after the pickup of 3. Coming up on 3.5 minutes to play here in the first half. Isaiah Green under some pressure. Had eyes in the back of his head. Creates time and has a first down. Devin Miller on the reception. They call him the big fundamental. Does everything right, including keep this play alive and find an open spot in the D.
Yes, he does. He comes back to the quarterback scramble drill, as they call it. Look at him as he's floating back to the line of scrimmage, doesn't run himself out of bounds, and gives Isaiah Green a target to hit late in the down. Just shows the dynamic playmaking ability of Isaiah Green. I understand why you call him the big fundamental. Quarterbacks love guys like that find a way to get open when you're in peril.
And here's some more misdirection. Willie Johnson on the reverse. Has a bunch of blockers out front. He'll outrun them. And he may outrun everybody. Cutting back this way. And taken down from behind inside the 15-yard line. The spark plug, Willie Johnson.
This is amazing play design and execution. They're in the Wildcat formation. Xavier Gaines lined up at the quarterback position. Look at the big boys down the field chugging along. Willie Johnson just running all over the place, not only tiring out his own offensive linemen, but these Western defenders have to be exhausted after chasing him all over the field on this.
And it's first and 10, 14-yard line. Quick little dump off. And a good tackle by Kyle Bailey. No gain on the completion to Armani Levias with 2 minutes to go here in the first half. If you're Western, got to keep them out of the end zone. Can't give all 7 points back. Got to want to keep this a 2-possession game. Marshall does get the ball to start the second half. Miller goes in motion. Knox switches sides. And there's the Wildcat again. Xavier Gaines taken down. Once again, it was Antoine Kincaid who's slow to get up. They weren't fooled by that one.
Now trying to run a little zone read type look with the tight end coming across the ball behind the line of scrimmage, and Western was not fooled at all. Forcing a 3rd and long here. Xavier Gaines, you talk about a guy that can do everything, man. Got a great arm, high school QB, running the Wildcat, zone read. There's a lot of weapons on this Marshall offense.
And they're milking the clock now. Play clock is under 5. Western Kentucky not calling a timeout. Marshall finally calls a timeout as the play clock was set to expire. Only 42 seconds left. I'm a bit surprised Western Kentucky didn't call a timeout after the tackle was made. On 3rd and 15, you have 3 timeouts left. You could have saved over a minute for the offense, assuming that you get a stop and force a field goal attempt.
Yeah, and it is a bit confusing as to why they didn't do that. Maybe they're content trying to force a long field goal here if they can get off the field on this 3rd down, on this 3rd and 15 as we're looking at right now for Marshall's offense. But yeah, you would think they'd want to save some time and try to at least take a few shots down the field. Maybe to a guy like Lucky Jackson, who already has caught a bunch of balls today.
Go deeper into the biggest college football games of the week with Tape Don't Lie. Stadium college football analyst Michael Felder going to the film room with a rotating cast of football experts to take a deep dive on the football game's most important players and teams. New episodes dropping each week on Stadium's Facebook page. Stadium, welcome to the game. 3rd down and 15. And they'll hand it off. And now we'll see if Western calls a timeout to save any time. And they will. The clock ticks to 34 seconds. And it's a final. Oklahoma cut it to 7, but Kansas State shocks the formerly unbeaten Sooners 48-41. That was the Big 12's big hope for the playoff. Now the only unbeaten is Baylor, AJ.
Yeah, this is pretty amazing that we can do right now. We can just X out Oklahoma, that's for sure. But check out Western La Tech right here. Sorry to do it to you, Sooners. That's a rough one.
Might have to X out Western by the end of the day if it keeps heading this way. Down 10, and Marshall will try to make it a 13-point lead. Justin Rohrwasser made from 46 earlier in the quarter. This one from 32. And he got it just inside the left upright. And it's 20-7. Saw that unbeaten graphic. Western is the only team in the East that's perfect in conference play. Louisiana Tech plays later tonight at UTEP, trying to stay perfect on the west side of the division. Rohrwasser now 9 for 9 this season.
He just looks confident through the stroke. Just looks so good. Like when someone stands up there and pipes a drive on 18 at Augusta or something with a one-shot lead. He looks like that every time he kicks the ball.
Hey, next Saturday, 12:30 Eastern Time, Holy Cross visits Lehigh, and we've got it for you on Stadium, the only 24/7 network available on both television and digital devices without a cable subscription. Stadium, welcome to the game. Coming up at halftime, we have campus insiders. Brett McMurphy, Pat Forty. Some great sound from Nick Saban. Alabama has Arkansas this week, then a bye to try to get Tua healthy for the LSU showdown, which could be 1 versus 2. Stick around at halftime for that. 34 seconds to go here in the first half. And got to imagine Doc said something to his kicker, because Western Kentucky's had great success on kickoff returns in the first half. It's the last thing you want right now. Western Kentucky with 2 timeouts left to try to do some damage here at the end of the half. Rohrwasser to boot it. And it's a line drive that will stay in bounds. And this time Marshall's on the coverage. Jaquez Sloan couldn't get away, and now they're backed up inside the 20-yard line with just 28 seconds to play, and we'll see how conservative Tyson Helton wants to be.
Sloan probably thought about letting this one go out of bounds, but it did kind of take that hop back towards Sloan at the end, so he had to field it. He had the idea to let it go out of bounds and take the ball in the 35 with a penalty, but I think he was forced to field that one at the end.
It was the perfect kick. Now they're gonna try to throw it on first down. Story gets it away late. It's complete to Gage Walker, and there's a flag down. This might be 15 yards added on to the end of the run, and that would put it at the 40-yard line if that's the case.
Yeah, this is absolutely on the Marshall defense here. Watch at the end of this play.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'd say that's a
high and late.
The definition. It's the definition of the targeting rule of what they don't want. As he's going down. I understand the target changes, so it's tough as a defender. But that target was going down as you had a step or two to think about it too.
And that is the call, targeting on Furman Silva, the transfer from FIU. Amazing that Story was able to get that out and complete it.
Yeah, heck of a play by Story just to not take the sack.
And they just announced that the targeting means an automatic ejection for Furman Silva. The good news is it's still the end of the first half. It's not the second half, or else he'd have to sit out the first half of next week as well. Marshall plays at Rice. They move it up to the 39-yard line with 21 seconds left here in the first half.
Western still has 2 timeouts left. I mean, plenty of time to try to take a few shots, even in the middle of the field with those timeouts, and set up possibly a long field goal or a shot at the end zone.
Pressure coming. They tried to set up a screen. It's incomplete. Looked like Darius Hodge came through virtually unblocked and didn't give Western Kentucky a chance to set that up.
Yeah, a lot of times when you're running screens, you do let the defensive lineman go, but you got to hold him up for a second. Right there, Hodge just beats the tackle, Cole Spencer, around the edge so quickly that they do not have time to let that screen develop. There's a reason Hodge is the sack leader for this Marshall defense. He's explosive off that edge.
6 sacks this season. Story complete and out of bounds to Ja'Cour Pearson with 12 on the clock. They mark it at the 49-yard line of Western Kentucky. Still going to need about 15 yards to get any kind of crack at a field goal. Not much of an issue.
Yeah, and they still can't feel too confident in their kicking game, though, Chris, with the issues they have had throughout this season. Already missed one today.
Yeah, Corey Munson missed a 32-yarder badly, and the extra point didn't look very good either. It went in, but it was ugly. Story over the middle, incomplete. He had his man. Joshua Simon, the tight end, who, AJ, you've been pleading for them to go at him. He was open, and that would have got him at least a chance at a field goal.
Just a little too high for the 6'5" Josh Simon. But yeah, a lot of times when they run this 3-by-1 formation with 3 receivers to one side, 1 on the backside, Josh Simon will be that inside piece at number 3, closest to the line of scrimmage, and can really stretch the field up the middle right up the seam. A lot of times linebackers will be on that coverage, and he's a mismatch.
Story in trouble. Stays alive, finds Lucky Jackson, steps out with 1 on the clock. Now we'll see how far Story can throw it.
I mean, just pressure all over Story. Only a 3-man rush, too. That's the thing. When you're able to get a 4-man rush, it makes your job as a D coordinator a lot easier. When you can get a 3-man rush and drop 8 in coverage, wow, it really opens up the playbook defensively and makes it tough on a quarterback to find an open man. But Marshall getting some 3-man pressure, which is just unheard of sometimes.
And a timeout called, 1 second to go. Did get a question from Justin in the Facebook comments wondering, did the refs disqualify a Marshall player or not? Yes, Furman Silva called for targeting. That's an automatic ejection. So he's out the rest of this game, the redshirt senior from Miami, who's playing a lot more lately, play much at the start of this season. He was one of the best defensive players in Conference USA for FIU before he got injured last year. But he's not a starting defensive lineman. Check out some news and notes from around Conference USA in this big battle in the East Division. Western Kentucky alone on top at 4-0. Louisiana Tech and UAB already bowl eligible. FIU, 3-game winning streak. That's where Western Kentucky turned its season around early in the year with a win at FIU. Story stepping up, throwing it deep. Won't reach the end zone. It's intercepted. And that's how the first half comes to an end. Marshall put Naquan Reynolds, the wide receiver, out there. Why not? He's got the hands. And the wide receiver comes up with an interception.
You see Lucky Jackson sitting, hiding back behind that. He's there for the deflection, for the tip. The play was set up nicely. The ball didn't get to the end zone, unfortunately, for Western, but they take it into the half, down 20-7 with some hope, though. It's going to be a battle in the second half. I can't wait to watch.
Marshall scored the first 17 points of this game. They came out firing for Doc Holliday, who's with Kristen Balbona.
Coach, you told us that the keys to this game would be to play great defense, create turnovers, and take care of the ball. How do you feel about your team's execution in the first half?
Well, we've done those 2 things. Got to learn how to kick the ball off. We've got to do a very good job covering kicks. Other than that, I feel pretty well about the way we're playing. So, got to get that fixed. We're playing a really good football team. We got 30 more minutes. We got to make some adjustments. Come back here and play 30 more minutes like we did first half.
Your team has been able to capitalize when you've been in scoring situations. How do you keep that going against a very stout Western Kentucky defense?
Block them and protect and play well and take care of the ball. When you get in the red zone, go score points.
All right, thank you so much, guys. Back to you.
Thank you, Kristen. Doc, I knew he'd be unhappy about something. It was the kicking off. They did give up a couple of pretty long returns to Western Kentucky in this first half. But it's a 20-7 lead for Marshall in this battle for the inside track in the East Division. We'll come back here from Huntington, West Virginia in just a moment. But first, we're going to send it back to Chicago and Campus Insiders.
We've got a great matchup for you.
Touchdown! There may not be a better play the rest of the day.
I know what I did in that box.
Tiger will win a major again.
Possible shot. That's what I'm talking about.
The flat path is easy, but for the inspired, there is a spirit that kindles a desire to climb higher, to soar, to roar, to reach new heights. The wish to be a part of something more, to do more and to be more. Hilltoppers know that life at the top is worth the climb. Climb with us at Western Kentucky University.
This is the CUSA way. Watch us be competitive, unique, strong, and athletic. We're driven. We're passionate. We're champions. This is the CUSA way.
I am a son. I am innovative.
I am a daughter. I am inspired.
I am a son. I am committed.
I am a daughter. I'm motivated.
I am a daughter. I'm in demand.
I am a son. I'm ambitious.
I am a daughter. I'm enthusiastic.
I am a son. I am dedicated.
I am devoted.
I am ambitious.
I'm inspired.
I'm an original.
I am a son.
I am a daughter.
We are
Marshall.
Welcome to Campus Insiders, featuring our three national voices, our very own Brett McMurphy, Bleacher Report's Matt Hayes, and Pat Forty of Yahoo Sports. We do have to get into Nick Saban because he was asked about the possibility of playing Tua Tagovailoa's younger brother, Talia, Saturday versus Arkansas, and we are treated to a classic Nick Saban answer.
Will there be an effort to get Talia into the game just to expedite his progression?
You know, we're focused on winning the game, all right? So we're going to try to win the game, and we're going to play the best players that we can play to win the game. And we're not assuming that it's going to be an easy game, all right? And we're not assuming that we'll have opportunity just to play anybody that wants to play, to expedite anything except winning the game. So we're going to play everybody who can expedite winning the game. That's what we're going to do. So I don't think anybody should expect us to do anything else.
That will be that. Pat, let's start with you, because this, I don't even know what you make of that. What's your reaction to it, Pat?
I've seen that before from Nick. And here's the thing that he hates is the one thing he can't control is the media. And he can't get us to think the way he thinks about every game, which is, you know, we don't talk about, you know, being overconfident and think about playing the third and the fourth string, that sort of thing. That's just not antithetical to his mindset. And he hates the fact that he can't get us on that same page with him. I'm sorry, Nick, I have the same question. I'd like to know how Talia looks. I'd like to see him in the game. And when you're up 50 on Saturday, I hope we do see him in the game.
So I'm going to give everybody a little Cliff's Notes to Nick, okay? The more times he says, the more upset he is. That's the way it goes with Nick. And he probably said it, what, 2 or 3 times there? You know, the funny thing is Nick, everybody always asks me, who's your favorite coach to interview? It's Nick, and it's hands down. No one delivers responses and intelligent responses like he does. He's an incredibly thoughtful, gifted mind. And also, by the way, at every SEC Media Days, he thanks the media for all we do for the sport.
Yeah, I just like how the hands went like that, as opposed to the hibachi grill that he usually does. You know, look, he's going to criticize the media when the media predicts him to win by 7 touchdowns against Arkansas, and then in 2 weeks he's going to criticize the media if the media says that Alabama's underdogs to the mighty Crimson Tide. That's who Nick is. We love him.
Yeah, that's who he is, gentlemen. Let's keep it going. We'll keep it going in Tuscaloosa. We're going to go deep here on what is on everybody's mind, certainly in Alabama. That is Tua Tagovailoa and his ankle situation. Now, Saban said earlier this week that there is, quote, no real timeline for his return after the QB had a tightrope procedure, which they hope will speed up the healing process. But with the LSU matchup only 16 days away, the likelihood of seeing Tua play in that game and be 100% seems very, very slim. So, Pat, I wonder, could we be headed for a case that if Alabama were to lose, they get the benefit of the doubt by the College Football Playoff Committee saying that Tua, A, didn't play, or B, wasn't close to 100%?
Well, yeah, the Tua mulligan, sure, that could absolutely be a thing. I wrote about it this week in my column, that if, you know, you're playing a team that is the best team in the country, perhaps, in LSU, and your best player, a guy who was the Heisman runner-up last year, who's been magnificent this year, is not 100%. You don't win the game. You don't maybe get blown off the field, but you're in a game, but you don't win. And then you go on to win the rest of your games. You're 11-1. LSU's 13-0. I think they'd have a pretty decent argument. The problem is the backlash If you remember, Alabama got into the playoff in 2017 as a non-champion. If you remember 2011, the last time LSU and Alabama played as 1-2, they lost that game, got the benefit of the doubt, got into the BCS championship game. There's a lot of people out there that think Alabama's had plenty benefits of the doubt throughout the recent college football history.
Well, let's call it what it is. It's not benefit of the doubt. It's abject deference to Alabama, okay? Whether it's the BCS, whether it's the college football playoff, it's Alabama. That's the number one team on their mind. And really, can you blame them? Because when you really look at it, they got the best players. They got the best coaches. They play in the best conference. I don't know that I could blame the committee for doing such things because when you really look at it, it comes down to the eye test. And if you're looking at Alabama when they're full go, it's hard to say no.
I think this year, though, they could miss out if they do lose to LSU because that means they wouldn't go to the SEC title game. Their only ranked win would be against Auburn. And then when you stack that up against potentially undefeated Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Clemson, are you going to put a one-loss non-champion Alabama over potentially a one-loss Pac-12 champion, whether it's Oregon or Utah? I don't think so, guys. Not this year anyway.
Well, gentlemen,
I would if it was over a Pac-12 champion or if it was over even an undefeated Clemson that's played nobody and had good health all the way. I don't know. I think there's going to be a heck of a debate.
The committee will never put a one-loss team over an undefeated team, Pat. If it's Clemson and Alabama comparison, if that comes down to the final spot, there's no way they'll leave an undefeated Power 5 champion out.
Here's the problem. The problem is they've always had that big non-conference game that they started the season with. USC, West Virginia, Clemson even one year. Now it's Duke. That Duke is just sitting out there like a big old ball, and there's nothing they can do about it. And the reality is if they lose to LSU, their best win is going to be Auburn and Duke.
All right, before we move on from Alabama, I want to take a look at your playoff projections, gentlemen. And all three of you believe Bama, who has been involved in every single one of the 5 college football playoffs, will not be part of number 6. Again, I want to make this clear for America that all three of you say no Alabama. Pat, what say you?
Hey, I look at it this way. I'm trying to project what the committee would do. But if it were me, if I'm on the committee, I would sit there and look at it and say, Alabama, if it's one loss to LSU, undefeated LSU, and your best player either was compromised or did not play in the game you lost, I would compare that with Clemson and their slate against nobody. Oklahoma, not a great slate. I would at least put them on the paper and have a good look at it. Now, I think the committee would look, as Brett alluded to, they like this. They like 0. They like undefeated. But I would like to see a critical analysis of them side by side with a one-loss Bama if Tua is not 100%.
I think it's interesting that you began that critical analysis with, I'm trying to think like the committee thinks. Yeah, good luck with that, okay? I'm going to give you the game plan for Alabama, okay? Stick with me here. They need Auburn to beat LSU this week. Then they need to absolutely blow the doors off the Tigers in the Iron Bowl. And then you just hope against hope that the committee, which Pat was just talking about, says, oh, yeah, let's go with Alabama. Yeah, that's a safe bet.
The nightmare scenario for the committee is if Oklahoma and Ohio State both lose a game and then go on to win their conference championships. And then the comparisons Pat talked about where you've got a one-loss SEC team that didn't win the champion, then I think that opens the doors for the SEC. But if we've got 3 undefeated teams, conference champions up there, I think it's going to be hard for one-loss Alabama to get in without winning the SEC.
This week, a list of the top college football salaries in the sport, and Dabo Swinney tops out the list right now, $9.3 million, followed by the aforementioned Nick Saban. How about Jim Harbaugh, Jimbo Fisher? You see the rest of the list, ETL. Now, opening up here to the entire list, Pat, I'll start off with you. Which coach right now is actually best bang for the buck for that program?
Well, I never thought I would say this, but it's Ed Orgeron at LSU. He's getting only, and I say only, $4 million a year. Look what he's done with them. Hey, they were a double-digit victory team last year, won the New Year's Six Bowl. This year, they're way better, and they are very much in the national championship chase. And if you look at some of the guys that are getting paid more than him, they haven't done what he's done. So I think Ed Orgeron, congratulations. You are a bargain right now in college football.
All right, I'm going way off the radar here. I got a coach who's won double-digit wins 3 the last 4 years, poised to make it 4 the last 5 years, 8 straight bowl games. Rocky Long at San Diego State is making $878,000 a year. And You know, I pulled up my little Google calculator and I figured out the California tax rate. Rocky's making $472 after take home, and he's living in one of the most expensive places in America. Good luck with that.
He does get to live in San Diego. That's not too bad. The most underpaid coach in college football, it's not even close. It's Nicholas Lou Saban Jr. That's right. He should make double what he makes now. What he has brought to that university, you can't even quantify. The enrollment since he came there started at 25,000 students. Now they're up to about 38,000. The football program made nearly $50 million last year. Whoa. I know we need to pay the players. That's a separate argument. But Nick Saban is vastly underpaid for what he has brought to this university. When you think about life before Nick Saban, 3 Mikes, Mike DeBose, Mike Shula, Mike Price. Yuck.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you're looking at it that way, I mean, Dabo Swinney also, just an unbelievable bargain considering where Clemson was when he took over, the history of Clemson football, the brief history around when he took over, and where they are now. Absolutely, he's worth every single penny.
A great matchup for you.
Touchdown! There may not be a better play the rest of the day.
I know what I did in that box.
Tiger will win a major again.
Possible shot. That's what I'm talking about.
And they're setting up the screen, coming back the other way. It's picked off. And he may go. Jackson to the house.
My biggest strength on the field will be my intelligence for the game. You know, coming into every week is a different game plan, and being able to go from week to week and get better with each game plan, and, you know, knowing the defense inside and out is definitely one of my best traits.
Chris Jackson's right there. Chris had never played corner in his life until he got to college. He was a quarterback and he was a receiver. He had never played DB. And learning on his feet as fast as he did to be able to go through his first camp and be a starter is something that I think is unreal.
I'm really proud of Chris. Came in and played as a true freshman, went through a lot of adversity. No true freshman should have to come in and line up a corner as much one-on-one coverage as we asked him to play. Went through his ups and downs, but continued to battle, hung in there, and is now one of the top corners in our league.
He's pretty good. He's kind of a little annoying, so I mean, he kind of just hangs around in the way of things.
He is a really good player. He plays well in space. He tackles well. He has a good football IQ, and like I said, he's always around the ball.
Underneath and a big hit at midfield by Chris Jackson.
We've got a great matchup for you.
Touchdown! There may not be a better play the rest of the day.
I know what I did in that box.
Tiger will win a major again.
Possible shot! That's what I'm talking about.
And welcome back to the game. We're at halftime where Marshall has a 20-7 lead over the leaders in the Conference USA East Division. Western Kentucky 4-0, but in danger here at Jones C. Edwards Stadium this afternoon. Rain holding off once again for now. It's a little bit chilly, but not too bad. Playing conditions pretty good for both of these two teams. With AJ Hawk, I'm Chris Hassel, and as we always do at halftime here on Stadium, we have AJ take a look at a little Hawk's eye view on the game.
Here we go. Let's first play we have, Chris. Isaiah Green with a big touchdown pass right here. Armani Levias. He is lined up at the X receiver position, which a lot of tight ends can't really do that. They don't have the skill set for that. Has a great release. Beats the defender across his face, Trey Meadows. But Trey Meadows is actually in decent coverage, but look at him right here. High points that football. You talk about high point it, go up and get it at its highest point. He does this beautifully. Comes in for the score. If you watch it again, look at the nice little smooth release. Not bad coverage right there. from Meadows, but he cannot find a way to go up and get that thing. Now look at our second play here, Chris, and an interception thrown from Western. Right here we have Jaquez Sloan. He's coming from the outside. He's going to run a little jet sweep, gets the ball, and let's pause it right here, guys. Look at this. Marshall, nobody is honoring the run here. He's already thrown it, and nobody honored the run even for a second there, so you should know that play is dead in its tracks before you pull the trigger. Jaquez Sloan with the early interception, and Marshall is not fooled at all. They had an idea from the jump that he was not going to pull this thing down and run with it, and Kerryon Morrell comes up with a big interception early on. Now we have a touchdown run by Gage Walker, but first I want to show you number 61. His big old running back, Jordan Meredith, pulls around, gets the kick-out block he needs, and Gage Walker is able to do the rest himself. Cuts back across the formation, has defenders turning their back to him who were kind of still in coverage actually at the time, and watch at the end. If he can make it a lot easier on himself if Gage Walker just decided to put that ball in his right hand. But you know what? You can't argue with production. He's spun around, still finds a way to get that ball over the pylon before he's out of bounds. What a run to get this team going. Now, the big reverse. Here we go. Pause it, guys. Excuse me. Look at this. Hold on. Keep it paused. You have your big guys, two of your best offensive linemen up ahead, pulling and looking for works. Alex Millette and Levi Brown, two of your best O-linemen, cruising, just paving the way. And Brendan Knox, even your big running backs out there. And I love it. Willie Johnson, what a fun guy to watch play. Just looking for opportunity all over the field. This is a great look from the beginning here. You love having the big boys out front pulling, running as hard as they can. And Willie Johnson knows what to do when the ball is in his hands. He's trying to score. He's trying to score every single time he touches it. It's going to be a fun second half.
They were able to get a field goal out of that late drive. The total yards, very even, but the turnovers and points off is the difference in this game. Western Kentucky turned it over on the first two offensive drives of the game. Marshall turned that into 2 touchdowns. A 14-0 lead in the first quarter, and Marshall leads by 13 right now. To the two quarterbacks, and Isaiah Green has not made a mistake. Just one incomplete pass. Has a touchdown passing and a touchdown running. Ty Story, on the other hand, has a couple of turnovers in this game. Kristen Balboni was able to catch up with Tyson Helton, the first-year head coach of Western Kentucky, out of the halftime break. What did he have to say, Kristen?
Yeah, Chris, when I asked Coach Helton, I said, what did you say to your players at the half? And he said, look, you know, are there some plays we'd like to have back? Yes. He said, but we did some really good things too. Our offense is moving the ball. Our D has made some stops. He said the key is going to be to come out here and make a big stop immediately. And you saw the assistant coaches trying to fire the guys up as they came out of the tunnel, telling them to finish this with energy.
All right, Kristen, and I asked the Facebook commenters, the Western Kentucky fans, do you think you'd have a shot in the second half? Bill Simpkins says absolutely. One turnover and it's game on. Maybe they can get it here to start the second half. Marshall will start from the 25-yard line. With the 13-point lead, they've led it the whole way. What are the keys, in your opinion, for Western Kentucky to get back in this game and win it, as you see the majority of the fans believe they will have between 11 and 21 points scored in the second half?
Western needs to find a way to get some turnovers on defense. We know they can get pressure on the QB. They've shown that all year. But they need to find a way to force Isaiah Green into some poor decisions and find a way to capitalize in the back end. Get some turnovers, give your offense a few extra possessions, because this Marshall defense is playing at a high level and getting a lot of pressure on Ty Story. So I think they're going to need a couple extra possessions, to get back in this one.
Isaiah Green will throw it to start the second half. He's got a cannon, and he's got a first down and more to Brock Thompson, who's made a couple of big plays in the passing game.
Isaiah Green just not feeling a whole lot of pressure. Able to step into that throw to the young freshman Brock Thompson, like you said, has made a few plays already today. Clay Davis almost gets his fingertips on that one. But Isaiah Green threads the needle and moves the ball up to midfield.
25-yard completion. He had a 54-yard completion to Thompson in the first half. Brendan Knox gets the edge and dances out of bounds. Close to another first down. So they'll give him 8 yards.
This shows you kind of the elusive speed of Brendan Knox. Watch Devin Key coming up unblocked off the edge. Knox is able to get the corner on him, turn it up, get some positive yardage, and tiptoe up the sideline for a few extra yards, bringing up a nice 2nd and 2 here, which this offense feels really good about when you have an athletic quarterback that can run and you have a guy like Brendan Knox who has been successful throughout this whole year.
Knox again, nothing doing this time. D'Angelo Malone swallows him up. We haven't said Malone's name much since the open of this game.
We have not. Now on 3rd and 1, we have Wildcat coming in. Isaiah Green out of the game right now. Xavier Gaines playing that Wildcat QB. Let's see what they do. I think they should mix it up maybe and let him throw one of these today to keep this defense honest.
He did throw on a backwards pass earlier in this game, an incompletion. But on 3rd down and 1, he's going to run it on the right side and pick up the first down.
Chris, you know who he reminds me of, especially when he's playing the Wildcat quarterback? A receiver that just got traded to the New England Patriots from the Atlanta Falcons, Mohamed Sanu, who was also a quarterback earlier in his career. I played with Mo Sanu for 1 year in Cincinnati, and he's a physical freak that can throw the ball and kind of do everything. And now the Patriots pick him up, so I guess the rich get richer. But Xavier Gaines reminds me of Mohamed Sanu a little bit when he's back there at the Wildcat QB.
And they can play him everywhere. Right now he's in the slot to the wide side of the field. Knox the handoff. Makes a couple miss. Picks up 5. That was going nowhere. Knox made something out of nothing.
Yeah, Marshall's offense really mixing up the run and pass very, very well. When you've got like Knox that can make multiple defenders miss, that would normally be a tackle for a loss from the opposing defense. You got to feel pretty good about your plan and how they're executing.
12 carries, 39 yards so far for Brendan Knox, coming off that 220-yard performance last week, but most of those yards came in the second half against FAU. Dangerous pass, and Takorian Darden got his hand on it. That was the turnover Western Kentucky was looking for.
Still a heck of a play from Takorian Darden, number 15 right here. He sets this up a little bit. He's setting Isaiah Green up. Watch his eyes. He's on the quarterback all day long. He knows if he throws that inside little stick to the tight end, I'm going to jump that route. That was a beautiful look at that. Good job on the camera work there. Darden just reading the eyes. Also, that's film study too. He knows in that look that number 3 is the option a lot, and he's going to run it at the sticks, and Darden is sitting all over it.
Former walk-on, earned a scholarship a couple of years ago. 3rd and 5. Knox. Looks like he may have the first down, but there is a penalty marker back at the line of scrimmage.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 men in the backfield, 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
And that one hurts for Marshall. Wipe out what likely would have been a first down. And that'll be 3rd and 10. Knox, the reigning Conference USA Offensive Player of the Week. The 2nd most rushing yards in the country last week of any player in college football. 220 and a couple of touchdowns in a great road win at Florida Atlantic. Third and 10, they split 3 wide.
Armani Levias right here, number 3 in that 3-by-1 formation.
See if they go his way. Instead, he's going for it all. Incomplete. No flags. Intended for Xavier Gaines. To Takorian Darden again on the coverage.
Going for it all, taking the shot deep in the end zone here. Let's see if these fans have a gripe. Darden had that left arm hooked around in it. Right arm, I wouldn't throw a flag for that right arm. The left arm was hooked around his waist a little bit early. But as you see right there, I think at the end of the play, it looks like a good no call.
Robert Lefevre to punt it and try to pin Western Kentucky inside the 10. And they should have, but that ball got away. Bring it out to the 20. Carry-on Morrell was in perfect position. You just never know how that ball is going to hop off the turf. And it jetted out to the right side of the screen here. I mean, he had it perfect. Oh.
That's a good job by Morrell, though, not believing the returner, who you can see is trying to take him away from where that ball is going to bounce. Morrell turned around, got his eyes on it, and then just got an unfortunate bounce, and he's unable to stop that one.
So a break for Western Kentucky. They could use a couple. Gage Walker, who has the touchdown run, picks up a yard on first down.
Gage Walker, the ball carrier.
Full helmet for that youngster. Looks like a helmet that's been through some wars.
Watch this. Watch the return here. You see him? He tries to take everybody away from the ball. Morrell is not falling for it.
Story completes it to Quinn Jernigan, 2 yards short of a first down, but a good pickup. Instead of a manageable 3rd and 2.
Lucky Jackson, the big receiver, has kind of been his outlet a lot of times on 3rd down throughout this first half. Let's see if he continues to go to him here.
And a timeout called by Marshall with 10 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the 3rd. Western 3 for 7 on 3rd downs in this game, and Marshall was really bad on 3rd down defense to start this season. But they've gotten a lot better. And Brad Lambert, the defensive coordinator, says it's so important because the defense can't choose to punt. You got to get yourself off the field when you're on D. Hey, Thursday night, it's no tricks, just treats, as Stadium scares up a high school doubleheader. 7 Eastern from Ohio at St. Francis de Sales against Bishop Hartley. Then at 10 from Nevada, Shadow Ridge hosting Arbor View. See the nation's top recruits on Stadium and watchstadium.com. Tyson Helton dials up here on 3rd down and 2. Very important for Western Kentucky to pick up some points on their opening drive of the second half. But the defense got him a stop. They would be right there after Marshall scored the first 17 points of this game. It looked like they might run away with it. Story over the middle, incomplete. It was behind Ja'Cour Pearson, but he probably still should have caught it. I'm not sure if it was tipped. Let's take another look at that. That could have been a huge play.
Watch Omari Cobb. He's right here playing inside backer. Reads the eyes of Story. If he caught this thing, it's going to the house for a pick 6. Didn't look like he got a fingertip on it, but I'm sure it did just enough to distract Pearson away, and the ball was thrown a little bit behind him as well. Good job by Cobb getting in the throwing lane right there.
John Haggerty to punt it away. He had pressure on him, but he gets away a good kick. Taken at the 19-yard line, Talik Keaton. 15-yard return. He's been a great punt returner this season for Marshall. The redshirt freshman averaging 15 yards per return. Down to Kristen Balboni, the 3rd member of our crew.
Chris, it's been a little while since we've shown some Instagram pictures. I told everyone if you submit them, we will show them, and that's what people are doing. I'm told they're coming in fast and furious using that hashtag WKUVSHerd. We'd love to show all of you on the broadcast, so we are going to take a look at some of those coming up and keep those pictures coming throughout the game. All right, Joanne Live says Dottie loves to score. Oedipus is not thrilled with that Hilltoppers touchdown. Go Herd from Miami, Florida. I like that, Oedipus.
Mid-lick.
Yeah. Another one from Joanne says someone should tell Oedipus it's game time. Go Herd. Look at that. Is that the tongue out?
Tongue's out.
I like that. Very cute there. Tiff Eastwell, Go Herd from Virginia. Adorable family right there, complete with the Marshall Green bows. Yak Shack fan watching the Herd and prepping for our Halloween party in Bradenton, Florida. That sounds like fun. Did we get an invite? Very cute. Dinar Kincaid, Cooper Johnson right there. Youngest member of the Herd football team. Melody, this is the face Mama loves so much. She named me Marshall. I like that. Good name for a dog if you're a Herd fan, no doubt about it. Keep the dogs coming. JP and Pearl. I'm guessing Pearl is the dog. They are cheering for the Herd from Lexington, South Carolina. Love to see those. King Luther says, put me in dock. I'm ready to play. Keep it up, Herd. Hey, I want to see some Western Kentucky pictures, too. Get some of those in here at some point, too. So top fans, let us know using that hashtag. All right, tailgating from Morgantown, West Virginia. Very nice there. Crew looks like they're having fun. Carter Seaton, using that hashtag, says, Sadie says, go Herd. I got to say, I'm sensing a theme here. It's all about the dogs and absolutely, being absolutely adorable. So we like that. Keep those Instagram pictures coming throughout the game. And hey, Chris, just so you know, it started to drizzle again down here.
Oh,
yeah.
man. Well,
oh,
see,
yeah.
We're in the booth, so we can't feel it. It looks okay out there, but
it's not bad.
I'll take your word for it. Hey, there was a flag on this play, AJ, a block in the back, so move it back.
Right here, you can watch it. You can see this thing coming. Watch him just clearly pushes him right in the back, and you're right in front of the returner, too. The official will see that every time.
That was Naquan Reynolds, the wide receiver, who picked up an interception at the end of the first half on that Hail Mary attempt for Western Kentucky. Isaiah Green shoved out by Devin Key. So instead of being out close to the 35-yard line, they start from inside their own 20. Western Kentucky trying to flip this field. Pressure coming up the middle. And that pass complete. Green knew it was coming. Got it out in a hurry for Corey Gamage.
And impressive from Isaiah Green, just standing in the pocket. He knows they're bringing pressure. He trusts his offensive line and gets that out to Gamage. Just short of the stick, setting up a 3rd and 1 here. Well, I'm guessing Marshall's going to try to keep this thing on the ground and pound it.
Green looks to the sideline with the rest of his offensive mates. Running back is Brendan Knox, and now he'll go shotgun. Play clock to 4. And he throws the screen pass. That's a first down and more to the tight end, Armani Levias. He just took a white shirt for a ride.
This was a heck of a change up from Marshall. They were lined up under center. Looked like they were poised to run this ball. They looked at the sidelines, the check with me, as you call it. Coaches looked like they changed it up. They put him in the shotgun. They run a little cross direction with Armani Levias, which the coaches told us earlier this week. They were going to try to do that a lot and get them into the flat where they can run little rub routes, and they find a way to pick up a big first down, making the change at the line of scrimmage.
Out at the 39-yard line. Knocks the handoff again. Nowhere to run. Bunch of shoving. And a flag comes out from the line judge. Levi Brown had his helmet taken off.
Well, it looked like he was about to fall. I think they may have thrown that on Levi Brown, which I don't agree with this. His helmet looked like it was coming up like it was about to be ripped off, and then he kind of took it off himself. Maybe they're going to throw it on him for taking his helmet off. That's why they're talking this one over.
Again, the referee, John Nolly. Brown making his 45th career start, most of any active Marshall player. And he's been waiting for this game for a while. He said it's not just the fans who had this game circled. We did too. He was on the team back in 2016 when Western Kentucky came in here and beat Marshall 60-6. The worst home loss in Marshall history.
Look at Deontay Ruffin right here. He's kind of locked up here with Levi Brown. You see Levi Brown's helmet's up.
After the play,
tries to pull it back down.
Conduct defense. Number 2, hands to the face. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They get Devin
That's
Key.
number 2's first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of the game.
And of course 2, and you're out.
Let's look where Devin Key is. Oh, okay, it looks like they're saying he had hands to the face. Looks like they could have got Ruffin possibly too earlier.
Well, it was definitely Ruffin as well. If it wasn't, I mean, if you're going to get Key, you got to get Ruffin. My guess is they got the wrong player on that.
Which that's a big deal, though. You can't have 2 unsportsmanlikes.
Exactly. So now Key's got to be careful. He's saying, well, hang on a second. That was Ruffin. So Green slings it. And it's Camage again for a first down. Boy, he has a rifle when he steps into it, doesn't he?
He's looked poised all day long, just so comfortable inside the pocket here. I mean, obviously his offensive line doing a heck of a job for him. But he's never looked rattled at all today.
And that's D'Angelo Malone, the injured Hilltopper. He said he's been able to make a big jump his sophomore season, his junior season now, because he's studying opponents more, he's taking the game more seriously, and is just self-motivated. Came into this game leading the nation in tackles for loss, 3rd in the nation in sacks. Eye-popping stats.
Yeah, hopefully he's able to come back in this ball game. Not sure exactly what happened to him. Looks like he should be okay. D coordinator Clayton White told us one of his favorite pass rush moves called the Euro step. I'd like to see him use that one a few times today and get a look up close and personal at what that looks like.
Yeah, he says he's picked up 2 or 3 sacks on that Euro step. Said they've even played him at linebacker. He's picked up a sack there. Versatility. Green pulls it and goes down in the backfield. And that looked like it might have been the replacement, C.J. Maria, making that tackle. May have just come in to replace the injured D'Angelo Malone. Maria hasn't seen much of any action this season.
Makes the right decision. All of a sudden finds himself in the game one-on-one with Isaiah Green, the shifty quarterback, and you find a way to bring him down for the big TFL.
Behind the sticks, a loss of 3. Green going for it all. Willie Johnson incomplete. Good coverage from Amari Alexander.
Western with some pressure up front. Isaiah Green did not feel too comfortable. Look at this little back and forth hand fighting. I think that's a good no call, and I think Alexander was in great position. He didn't panic at the top of the route, and he turned around and he got his eye on the ball. A lot of times people get to the top of the route, especially if you're in the end zone like that too. It's a tough situation for a defender, and sometimes you won't turn around and you freak out and you try to go through the receiver's hands too early, and the flag will always come out on that. But Alexander making a solid play in the end zone.
3rd and 12. And that pass is caught. But it's short of a first down. Now, he thought he got it. But Armani Levias ran that route about 3 yards short of a first down.
Yeah, Levias just short of the sticks. You see 2 Western defenders over there. Levias, heck of a catch, pulling it into the left side. Getting the left foot down, dragging the right, setting up a long field goal. And I don't want to jinx him or anything, but everything has seemed absolutely automatic so far this whole year for Marshall in the field goal department.
Justin Rohrwasser 2 for 2 today, 9 for 9 on the season. This one from 44 yards. And again, it's center cut. He was involved in a kicking competition in the offseason with Shane Chucci, the redshirt freshman.
Watch the reaction, Chris. Kicker, holder, they're pumped. Yep, you know it. Fist pump. Chest bump with the snapper. I love it. Oh, headbutts. We love it.
10 straight to start the season for Justin Rohrwasser. And the lead has grown to 16. Still a 2-possession game, though, with 6:23 to play in the third quarter. Checking out some more Instagram photos. Hey, the Toppers getting into it here. Tiny Tops twins. Those two. Kristen was calling the Hilltopper fans out. They said, "Hey, we don't have any pets, but we've got some babies." There's hopefully it's some kind of Halloween theme.
Are these guys friends? Or is he like a random? Did he walk up to him on the street and say, "Hey, bud, I need a picture with you"?
I'm guessing he walked up for a picture. That must be
throwback. AJ Hawk, Barbara Carpenter. Oh, this is not Bobby. That's Bobby's brother, actually. You know what? That is. Oh, here's Bobby, the blurry one. Man, I should have read the cap. Bobby Carpenter, this is his brother. Okay, got it. I thought this was Bobby at first. My bad.
So that must be Kincaid in the middle?
Who knows?
Young herd cheerleader.
It's a wiener dog?
You think that's a wiener dog?
In the background of the other picture.
Okay. I was worried about you for a second.
Yeah, you should be. I appreciate you thinking about me, Chris.
That looks like a pit bull mix there. Dixie says go herd. Oh, a little boy with the big appetite. Hey, look at Baby Blob.
That must have been that iPhone 11 with that new camera on that picture. That looks good.
Must be portrait mode. So after the field goal, Marshall keeping it out of the hands of the return team. And coming up this Friday, Stadium wrapping up the high school football season with a rivalry game from California. Tulare Union visiting Tulare Western. 9:30 Eastern Time. Catch all the action on Stadium and watchstadium.com. It's almost November. This is the last Saturday in October. It's getting real. And in the northern parts, it's getting a little chilly. At least the heavy rain has stayed away today. It rained all last night. It's supposed to rain all tonight. I think it kept some of the fans away. Ty Story slings it out, complete. Good tackle by Carry-On Morrell. There's Jason in attendance, ready to wreak havoc on Halloween week. Or either that or he's just an old-time hockey goal. Yeah, they've got the stadium feed up on the Jumbotron here, so he saw himself up there. Story complete to Jacquez Sloan, and that will be a first down.
You would think Western's offense is going to start to pick up the tempo here a little bit as this game goes. You're down 23-7, 5:38 left. Trying to start to push the pace a little bit.
Story to throw again. Pump fakes. Pressure from behind. It's a fumble. And Story was able to get back on it. Second time he's lost the ball in the pocket. He's really struggled with this Marshall defensive line in this game.
Marquise Couch right here on the edge. Look at him. Just absolutely an elite pass rush move around the edge. Strips the ball. It's the #1 thing you're taught to go after the ball. Ball first, then get him down. He tries to recover it, but Story's able to bring that one back in.
Loss of 4. Story stepping up, throw in, complete to Lucky Jackson.
What a response from Story in this Western offense. After the fumble that he luckily recovered on his own. Watch Marquise Couch bearing down on him again. Wraps underneath, bearing down on Story. And what a strike thrown to Lucky Jackson to keep this thing alive.
Lucky Jackson now 11 catches, 113 yards. Quick little in to Jaquez Sloan. 6 yards on first down. Again, still a 2-possession game, so if Western Kentucky can score a touchdown here, you'll see him go for 2 to try to make it an 8-point game. But the difference in this game, the 2 early turnovers that Marshall turned into touchdowns on their first 2 drives of the game to take a 14-0 lead. Great spin move by Ja'Cour Pearson. He's got a first down at the 15-yard line.
We've seen this a few times today. Ja'Cour Pearson, man, watch this catch, and then he has the awareness, bam, to spin off of it. You know what? If you're outside in, that's your job, and make that tackle, but don't let him get outside of you. That's what you have to do, but sometimes you got to chalk that one up to a great move from Pearson.
Story comes to the line and looks to the sideline. Go ahead, AJ.
Oh, no, you're just using the defender's leverage against them. I mean, when someone can spin that quick, you can't really blame a kid for missing a tackle on that.
That'll be offside. Kobe Cumberlander shot off before the snap.
I'm surprised that play wasn't blown dead, Chris, how the jump that he got on this. Watch this right here. Watch how quick he got off on here.
Hey, you're right, AJ. A lot of times they'll blow that dead because
dangerous.
If they were running that play his way, oh boy.
If that was a passing play, I mean,
yikes.
He'd have the opportunity to hit Story before the tackle can even get out of his stance.
So 1st and 5, Western Kentucky 0 for 1 in the red zone. They missed a 32-yard field goal in the first half. Story looking near side, pressure from behind, gets it away, almost intercepted, but a flag is out. Lucky Jackson's shoulder pad is hanging out, and this might be defensive pass interference. It absolutely is against the defense. We'll see if it's holding or PI.
Pass interference, defense, number 3. By rule, the ball's placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Chris Jackson smiling. He doesn't like the call. What do you think?
I mean,
nothing there.
The right shoulder pad, though, that jersey got tucked under the shoulder pad somewhere, though.
Some way, somehow.
Lucky Jackson didn't do that himself. And Darius Hodge with the huge pressure there on Ty Story, too.
Story gets hit and dropped. Loss of 10 on 1st and goal from the 2. I don't know about that play call. Play action on 1st and goal from the 2. Yikes.
Marquise Couch and Darius Hodge both have been wreaking havoc on Ty Story and this Western Kentucky offense all day long, and they continue it right there.
Couch, redshirt senior from Miami. Followed Rakeem Cato and Tommy Schuler from Miami Central. They give him forward progress at the 9-yard line. And that is going to be a false start on Western Kentucky. Everybody moved before that ball was snapped.
False start. Offense. Everyone but the center. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And he smiled too with it, Chris. Everyone but the center.
You know that referees love making that call.
Everyone but this guy right here with his head popped up touching the ball. Wow. All right. Yeah, I've seen worse, that's for sure. But that was clearly 10 guys moving and one wasn't.
2nd and goal from the 14. Story steps up, zings it, complete. Joshua Simon still on his feet, dropped at the 4. They get about 10 of it back. And I don't know if this is 4-down territory here or not because they're down 16.
Yeah, it depends how comfortable you feel kicking the ball.
Well, you're going to need 3 scores to win it regardless. Third and goal. Jackson in motion. They throw it to him. He's got it, but pushed out at the 2. Chris Jackson, who was flagged for pass interference, made the big tackle.
What a play by Chris Jackson here. Running a sprint out to the right. Just a good play design. You look at 11, Lucky Jackson right here. Look how far he comes. Chris Jackson, he comes from so far, fights through the pick, the rub routes, and gets Lucky Jackson out of bounds, forcing a 4th down here.
They're going for it at the 2-yard line. Pressure. Story gets rid of it. Incomplete. A flag is out. And it'll be 1st and goal once again. And these fans are deflated. They can't believe it.
As Lucky Jackson's going back and forth with the Marshall defenders.
Pass interference. Defense number 3. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic. 1st down.
Well, Jackson, watch him. He does grab onto Jackson's back. See?
That's a heck of a route by Lucky Jackson. Sells like he's running a corner, comes back for the slant, and then reverse pivots out. That's tough to cover, man. Chris Jackson definitely grabs a hold of him. That flag is justified. And Western's trying to find a way to get into the end zone, and Marshall is doing whatever they can to stop him. Man, the life of being a corner on an island. Chris Jackson, you got to have a short memory. You got to forget the bad, remember the good, and keep it rolling.
Gage Walker dotting the I. It's a quarterback keeper and a touchdown, Western Kentucky. And now they'll go for 2 to try to make it a 1-possession game. Or will they? Looks like the kicker is coming out.
Now Ty Story's back on the field now, but they're in some weird formation.
Wild formation here. Trying to make it a 1-possession game. They swing it out to the H-back, but whistles, and I think Marshall may have called a timeout, or it was a legal formation.
Yeah.
Offense number 77.
Oh, that's a killer.
5-yard penalty. Replay the try.
They get Mason Brooks for a false start, or else this would have worked. That was Kyle Fortenberry who would have walked in. And now they're going to kick the extra point. What a blunder. Corey Munson missed it. And his horrendous day continues. In all honesty, it doesn't kill him. It wouldn't have meant much. Would have gone from a 10 to a 9-point game. But he's missed a 32-yard field goal, an extra point, and he almost missed another extra point. But Western Kentucky is very much in this game with 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. 23-13, Marshall on top.
Mental health affects us all. whether you finish first or last.
Whether you win or lose.
The stigma around these issues causes those around us to suffer in silence.
Mental health is nothing to be ashamed of.
You are not alone.
You are not alone. As a student athlete,
As a teammate,
As a friend.
We pledge to continue the conversation.
because it matters.
because you matter.
Stand up to the stigma.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Continue the conversation.
You are not alone.
We've got a great matchup for you.
Touchdown! There may not be a better play the rest of the day.
I know what I did in that box.
Tiger will win a major again.
Possible shot. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, Western Kentucky just scored a touchdown, went for 2, but had a false start, so they tried to kick a PAT from 5 yards back, and Corey Munson missed it, but AJ's laces in.
Yeah, circle. I missed it with my circle, but this is the second time today that he has kicked directly on the laces.
But it doesn't seem like there's any kind of conversation between the holder and the kicker there. I don't know if...
I've never heard of a kicker that wants to kick the laces. If he does, that's news to me. I mean, anytime you talk to a kicker, they tell you how you never truly know where it's going to go when you do kick the laces.
The holder's John Haggerty, who's the punter. I mean, I would think if it's a couple bad holds, and it was the same thing with the missed 32-yard field goal, that he would be showing some kind of remorse out there on the field, but that hasn't been the case. 10-point game, and here comes an onside. Marshall's got it. I like the thought from Western Kentucky, but I think if you're Marshall, you had to think that there was a possibility they'd be pulling this out.
Yeah, heck of a play here by Marshall. Being aware, going up and fielding that thing at about 9 yards. 2. They were not fooled at all. Got this thing before it traveled 10, so Western can't even technically touch it. Securing that and setting up great field position for your offense.
And that was Taven Richardson, the wide receiver, on the good hands team there. I mean, he drops it, and Western Kentucky would have had it. So I don't hate the call. Down 2 scores. 45 seconds to go here in the third. Jet sweep. This will go down as a pass. And that's Joey Fields with his first reception of the season. 5'8", redshirt senior from Toms River, New Jersey.
Second and 6.
If you're a quarterback, you love that those things are considered passes. It's all just extra on the stat sheet. If you have some of these electric playmakers on the outside that can make some people miss and get that corner.
Good to see D'Angelo Malone back in this game. Isaiah Green pressured and throws it away.
This offensive line for Marshall has really stood up today. Finally gets flushed towards the end of that play, but Isaiah Green, for the most part, has been upright today and had a clean pocket to throw in.
Speaking of upright,
I need that for my car when I'm going to drive in the POV lane when I need to have a passenger.
It's an old Seinfeld trick. Tried it on Curb Your Enthusiasm as well. Third down, and it's dropped by Xavier Gaines. And Western Kentucky looks like it's going to get off the field unless Marshall wants to go for it here. A 3-and-out punt team coming on. And a rare drop from Xavier Gaines.
Big time stand by Western Kentucky's defense right there. Failed onside attempt. Marshall's starting with great field position, and you're going to force a punt here to get the ball back to start the fourth quarter, basically.
And a short end-over-end punt. Taken at the 13-yard line. No fair catch called by Roger Cray. He picked up a couple extra yards as the third quarter clock runs out. Western Kentucky hanging around. They've got the momentum in this game, no question. 10-point deficit with the football to start the fourth. Down to Kristen Balboni.
All right, Chris, it is time for a little trivia. We're going to do it in the form of a poll question, make it a little bit easier. You should see the poll right there on your screen. We want to know, what is Doc Holliday's record in bowl games as head coach of the Thundering Herd? He's been here for 10 seasons, so it's going to be one of those 4 answers. If you guys want to go ahead and place your votes, I think the Thundering Herd fans are going to get this one pretty easy, but we will see. In the meantime, we're going to take a look at some of the pictures that you guys are sending in using that hashtag WKUVS Herd. Oh, now that is absolutely adorable. It doesn't get cuter than this from RE1. It's game day today, sending my love to Big Bro number 7. That is absolutely adorable. Love that. All like that right there. Dinar Kincaid, we saw him a little bit earlier. Nice picture with Marco right there. And the flag flying high from THD Turner from Flower Mound, Texas. That's not far from North Texas, incidentally, but they are Herd fans there. Chico the Little Chug. That's one of the best Instagram names I've seen in a while. You're watching the Herd, our favorite team. We love these pictures. Love that you guys are all sending them in using that hashtag. We said if you send them, we will show them, and that's what you are doing. All right, this is adorable too. I mean, I thought the first picture of the WKU little girl was the best, but this one's right up there too. I mean, these are absolutely adorable. Watching Dad and the Herd beat up on the red towels. Gotta love that. What a cute outfit.
Herd, Devin Miller, redshirt sophomore from New Jersey.
Very cute.
We're here at the Joan. Overcast day. Rain has, for the most part, either stayed away or been light. As we head into the fourth quarter, Marshall has led the whole way, and there's one of the best mascots in sports. But not according to what? What is it? Sports Illustrated did this poll? Not in the top 10. Big Red. Ja'Cour Pearson still in bounds. And he's out to the 39-yard line. Big play to start the drive. Big Red made the trip from Bowling Green, Kentucky. In this border war, fans called it Moonshine Throwdown. I think that's the best rivalry name, an unofficial name, but the best rivalry name I've come across.
Yeah, unofficial that should become official soon enough.
Embrace it. Story has time. It's running out. He gets rid of it and throws it away. Boy, oh, what a catch on the sideline. Hey! That's Kentrez Costin, a freshman safety, not in uniform. Made the first of what he hopes is many great plays as a member of the Herd. Check out the juggling job. He gets his feet inbounds before the bench and hauls it in. In the Arena League, that's fine. That's complete. Story rifles it complete. First down to Quinn Jernigan.
Heck of a throw by Story here. Stepped into it and fired this thing on a rope. Out to the numbers here, man. What a confident looking throw from Ty Story. And you can kind of feel as this game goes, he's feeling better and better, even though he's dealing with a lot of pressure put on by this Marshall front.
And a nice run on first down by Gage Walker. And Western seizing the momentum in this game.
Yeah, they really are. Gage Walker just kind of coolly picking his way through here. Lets the offensive lineman get in front of him. Tries to get defenders that are on the outside to kind of jump inside, just take a peek inside, and that's all he needs. And Gage Walker gets the edge and keeps these chains moving.
And Lucky Jackson had a bubble, and he's down to the 30, pickup of 8. Western Kentucky now with more total yards than Marshall. 320 total yards to 306 for the Thundering Herd.
And you can kind of feel a shift right now. You can feel some nervousness in the stadium to where Marshall has felt like they've played so well today that if they give up a touchdown right here, it's like almost all your great work goes for nothing, and you let this Western team right back in it.
Marshall scored 14 points in the first 10 minutes of this game, but the Western Kentucky defense has held them to 3 field goals since. And Gage Walker, the spin! First and goal, Hilltoppers.
This O-line for Western is winning the battle up front with the big boys. Look at him pulling around, pulling around. Big number 61, Jordan Meredith, gets out there to the second level, gets his hands on Devontae Beckett, the leading tackle of this Marshall D, and they're inside the 10, going for 6.
First and goal to 9. End zone, Lucky Jackson, incomplete. The coverage from Stephen Gilmore. No flag this time.
Good job by Gilmore not freaking out at the top of the route here. But you know what? He had Lucky Jackson. He just put a little too much air under it. You see that separation, about 2-yard separation between Stephen Gilmore and Lucky Jackson. Ty Story just put a little too much under that one. If he could have seen how much separation Lucky Jackson had, he may have put a little bit more on that ball and they would have had a touchdown.
Second and goal from just inside the 10. Story hit as he throws, and it's out the backside of the end zone, incomplete. Story slow to get up, no penalty flags. He was hit as he was getting rid of the football by Amari Cobb.
Amari Cobb, they bring little two-man blitz with both of their inside backers. Amari Cobb comes unblocked and plants Ty Story with a completely legal hit that is authorized. But man, what a shot Ty Story just took.
Ja'Cour Pearson in motion. Running right. Story evades one. Throws it back of the end zone, incomplete. Might have just been throwing it away. Either that or it slipped out of his hands. And it's 4th down and the field goal unit is out.
Yeah, I'd like to call, get Story out.
He had Pearson there. I think that ball just sailed on him, AJ.
Yeah, it may have sailed on him a little bit. You're right. When we first saw it, it looked like he was possibly just throwing that thing away out of the back in the end zone, but it did kind of flutter out of his hand. May not have had the best grip on it.
Grad transfer from Arkansas, played in 10 games last year for the Hogs. And Rodney Kroom was the one bearing down on Story, and that caused that errant throw.
Let's see, Rodney Kroom right here. He actually hits Ty Story. Let's see what happened if he landed weird after this. Oh, his own teammate, some friendly fire right there. Looked like it kicked him in the back of the head, neck area. Good to see him walking off the field. But watch, it's always friendly fire. Devontae Beckett goes jumping, trying to avoid him, and hits the back of his helmet.
Well, let's see if Corey Munson can right the ship here. He missed from 32 earlier. He missed an extra point last time. Can he make this? He can. And it's a one-possession game.
Guess what, Chris? I saw it get turned a little bit. They turned it so he didn't directly kick the laces. They were on the side there. Had to feel much better.
And he had pulled a couple. This one sliced.
Right down the pipe. That's what you want, right, Chris? Probably called that.
They'll certainly take it. That keeps him right in this game, and actually this is as close as it's been since the first 5 minutes of this game. It's a one-possession game again. 7-point deficit for Western Kentucky. Down to Kristen.
Chris, just want to answer the trivia question. There was no fooling any of you. 55% of you got it right. The answer is 6-0. That is Doc Holliday's record in bowl games as the head coach of Marshall. Absolutely incredible bowl record there. Now, on the other side, Tyson Hilton has been known of somewhat of a quarterback whisperer throughout his career. But how about this? Not only did he develop Sam Darnold at USC and Mike White at Western Kentucky, he also helped develop Patriots kicker Stephen Gostkowski. I did not know that. He coached tight ends and special teams at Memphis from 2004 to 2006. And he said, look, I couldn't do anything to teach Stephen Gostkowski about kicking. He said he had one of the best kickers I've ever seen. He said, but what I did try to do is mentally toughen him up. He said, from a mental aspect, we grew very close. I coached him very hard, and that is what he liked. He said he coached him like a quarterback or an offensive lineman. He said he really appreciated that and responded well to tough love, as he called it. And I said, well, that tough love, it had to help him be prepared for Bill Belichick. He started laughing. He said, yeah, I guess it did. I hadn't really thought about that before, but no doubt it did.
Good story, Kristen. I'd be surprised if Bill Belichick has ever said a word to one of his kickers other than, what the hell are you doing if he misses a kick? Today's game brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the NCAA here in Huntington, West Virginia. And a 7-point game now. Marshall scored the first 17 points of this game. But Western Kentucky has come not roaring back, but just kind of inching its way back into the game. Trade 7 for 3, trade 6 for 3.
Yeah, and you know this Western Kentucky defense is itching to get back out there, trying to find a way to get another big stop or maybe force a turnover, give the ball back to their offense, and try to tie this game up. They are very, very used to playing in close football games. This is not new to them.
Last time they tried an onside kick, a surprise onside. This one taken in at the 3-yard line by Sheldon Evans. And Evans gets it across the 25. The kicker Corey Munson in on that stop. Tyson Helton, the head coach of Western Kentucky, told us all we want is to be right there with 5 minutes to go. That's the key each and every game this year. If we feel like we're in the game with 5 minutes with a chance to win it, I'll take it every time because I think we can win it. And that's what they've done all season long to this point, winning tight games.
Yeah, and for Marshall, they've been playing with a lead all day and they jumped out to an early lead. It's tough sometimes to play with a lead and not try to get too conservative offensively and just to hold on to that thing. And Western's been playing catch up all day long. So two very different mindsets, I guess, on how this game is going right now. Western feels like, okay, we finally clawed our way back into this, made it a one-score game, and Marshall's sitting there hopefully not saying, oh no, let's hang on to this thing. Don't mess this thing up. We started out so fast and then have stalled since then. This drive will tell us a lot about what the Marshall mindset is if they're going to stay aggressive offensively.
Trying to end Western Kentucky's 4-game winning streak. Isaiah Green finds Willie Johnson, and it's a first down.
Willie Johnson, that's the thing, you have to respect his speed. He is so fast. Trey Meadows gives him plenty of cushion. You can sell like you're running a fade. Come back in front of the sticks. Isaiah Green delivers a perfect ball on time, and they keep moving down this field.
Under 11 minutes to play now. Hand off Brendan Knox. Gets through a hole on the right side. And may have a first down. A pickup of 10 for Brendan Knox. He had some Facebook commenters wondering why he hasn't touched the ball much in the second half. Well, they're giving it to him now.
You can watch the big boys pulling and getting around. Jeez. These guys are just, you talk about road graders. Josh Ball pulls around there. Gets the kick out block. Gets a nice kick out. And they're just going to work here. Watch big 79 here. Josh Ball. Man. That's a kick out block.
That reminds me of those pancakes they were making at the tailgate earlier today. The old Aunt Jemima's.
Yeah, Clay Davis is coming down. You're kind of in a very difficult situation. You're trying to set the edge on big offensive tackle pulling around. You try to set it and then maybe spin back inside and get in on a play, and all of a sudden he's on your back and he continues to push you down the field.
6'8", 350. He was going to go to Florida State. Doc Holliday told us how amazed he is at the way he moves around. Gaines throws it behind Armani Levias. Beg your pardon, Green throws it behind Armani Levias. He had him.
Yeah, he's looking at the Jumbotron now, trying to get a replay of that. Isaiah Green has Levias, the dynamic tight end, down the sideline, just puts the ball behind him. He can only kind of throw that left hand out there and try to get a hand on it, but he was unable to bring it in.
Auburn with a first half lead on LSU, 10-7 in a top 10 battle down in Death Valley. Brendan Knox going nowhere. Jawan Jones, who's playing this game with a wrapped up ankle, according to our Kristen Balboni. Doesn't seem to be bothering him there.
Jawan Jones is so quick in his first step off the ball. A lot of times he'll make an inside move when the scheme allows it and beats the tackles across their face, and that's when you see him coming up with these big tackles for a loss, and he's playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Huge play here, 3rd and 11. Western Kentucky trying to get the ball back with a chance to tie it. Green over the middle, incomplete. Bouncing off of Armani Levias, another dropped pass by a Marshall tight end. That's the 3rd time this half.
Watch Devin Key, though, coming in here as Isaiah Green is eyeballing Levias the whole way. Devin Key comes in, but you're right. That thing bounced off the hands of Armani Levias, forcing a punt here on 4th down. Giving the ball back to Western in a 1-score game.
Robert Lefevre to punt. And this one rolls into the end zone. Western Kentucky will get it down 7 at their own 20-yard line with 9:28 to play. Kristen?
Well, we've got another poll coming your way for everyone watching. We want to know who is going to win CUSA. Simple as that. You should see the poll up on your screen right now. Now, something tells me this is going to be split along party lines based on who is watching, the fan bases that are watching. But we still want to know what you think. Of course, Western Kentucky coming into this one on top, but this game has a lot of implications. So let us know. We're going to check out the results of that poll at the end of this break. But right now, while we wait for all of you to vote, let's take a look at some Instagram pictures. We've really enjoyed all of these throughout the game. This one is from A. Smith. They are all enjoying homecoming. A lot of good tailgating out there this morning. Jeannie McGinnis, go Herd from Pensacola, Florida. I wonder why one dog got the jersey and not the other. Oh, now this is absolutely adorable. I like the Halloween costumes.
It's dress-up day, but the young man, he's in full football uniform.
He is. He is. Maybe that's his Halloween costume. Jay Clyburn says it's my wife's first Marshall game. Jay, let us know. Is she enjoying it? Gotta think she is. Looks pretty excited for it. Sarah A. Walker says, watching the Herd in Washington, D.C. Sad to miss homecoming, but we've got 26.2 miles to run in the Marine Corps Marathon tomorrow. My goodness. Sarah, good, best of luck to both of you. That is absolutely incredible. know all the Marshall fans will be wishing you good luck too. And this one is from Laura. Absolutely adorable. Catching some Z's while mom and dad catch some of the game. You got a little football right there. Gotta love that. All right, the results are in, and I think this is based on what we saw earlier. We asked everyone, Chris, who are you rooting for? And the numbers were kind of similar when it came to Marshall and Western Kentucky fans tuning into the game. So something tells me that might have a little bit to do with the poll results here.
Voting with your heart.
Nothing wrong with that. Marshall was picked to win the division.
And if they hold on and win this game, Kristen, they will be the pick by many.
Absolutely.
Outside of Huntington to win this division. If Western Kentucky can come back and win it, though, they'll be 5-0 and the only unbeaten. Lucky Jackson, first down. What a game he has had. 14th catch.
Jeez. What a feel-good story, I think, too, for Lucky Jackson. But not only 5-0, Chris, but 6 wins total for the season that punched their ticket to a bowl game already in October.
And Tyson Helton said that he hasn't talked to his team at all about that. That would be quite the cherry on top if they could come back and win this game. Uh-oh, turf monster jumping up and biting Jaquez Sloan. That's the literal home field advantage for Marshall.
Yeah, we got a little bit of precipitation throughout the day. It's been sprinkling on and off. He's just moving too fast to make that drastic cut. As you see, his left foot slides out. We see a mass of that black ground up rubber that's in this turf fly in the air, and we have a 2nd and long now.
Lost 2 yards. Blitz coming. Story going deep. It's Pearson, but it's overthrown.
Nazee Johnson on the coverage there. As you can see, he's got a club on that right hand. Those are not easy to play with, no matter what position you're in, especially if you're a DB and you want to use your hands at the line of scrimmage to jam, or even at the top of the route if you want to try to get your hands on the ball, play through the hands of the wide receiver. So Johnson, solid play there.
3rd and 12. Western Kentucky 3 for 10 on 3rd downs in this game. Marshall only sends 3. Story's going to tuck it and go. He picks up the 1st down. There was nobody home on the backside of that defense, and Story saw it and picks up the biggest 1st down of the game.
Savvy move here by Story. You see the inside move from the Marshall defense. They do not hold contain. Story knows that they are in a man-to-man coverage. You saw number 34, Stephen Gilmore, turn around after Story already had gotten the 1st down. If you're in man coverage, your back is turned. You can't pay attention to what the quarterback's doing. You got to play your man.
He's throwing again. Lucky Jackson has a step, has the catch at the 22-yard line. He beats Stephen Gilmore.
What a game. What a game Lucky Jackson is having. Not only does he find a way to make this catch and get both feet in bounds, but watch him. He was trying to stop completely and cut back across Gilmore's face there and take that to the house, but Gilmore finds a way to get that right arm up and drags him out of bounds. Lucky Jackson, I'm sorry. He's a fun guy to watch, and when you hear these coaches speak about him, makes you feel that much better for the kid.
15 catches, 164 yards for Jackson. This one complete to Joshua Simon. Breaks free. And he fumbled it out at the 1-yard line. That's Jaquez Sloan out at the 1. He's lucky that ball didn't hit the pylon, or it would have been ruled a touchback. Made one man miss and almost got to the house.
The yards after contact for all of these receivers are just so good. They all have such a knack.
Oh, the knee's down. It's coming back. Fans are watching our broadcast on the Jumbotron, so they just saw what we just saw. This one should be reviewed and taken back outside the 20-yard line, and they will review it. This should not take long.
Yeah, Jaquez Sloan, watch him here. He catches the ball, tries to get back inside. Right here, right there, left knee down clearly. That ball will be placed right around the 20-yard line. Maybe a hair behind the 20. It looks like we're actually wherever that ball was when his knee was down.
Well, we'll see if they give, there's a chance they could give him forward progress from where he caught the ball at the 19. He kind of went back a yard or two. That'll be interesting to see where they spot this. It was a great effort by Jaquez Sloan.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, the yards after contact from these receivers, I mean, and the running backs, obviously Gage Walker, but they catch the ball. They have a knack for where the defender is on their back, and they always, as we see the left knee clearly down, we'll see where they spot this one, but they do such a good job of feeling the leverage of the defenders and cutting back across their face and making people miss. I mean, it's so tough to tackle these guys in space, even in close quarters. They catch the ball, you're right on them. They find a way to spin off of you. We saw Ja'Cour Pearson do it multiple times already tonight. Lucky Jackson's been doing it all day. Some really dynamic playmakers on the outside.
And it's going to be a minimal gain because it was first down from the 22-yard line, so it should be a pickup of only 2 or 3 yards. And it'll be second down for Western Kentucky with 6:38 to go in this game. This is where I think 10, 15 years down the road, they're going to have somebody with an eye in the sky. They're going to see what we saw. It's going to take 10 seconds to show that he was down at the 20-yard line. And it won't have to take this long to review it.
I mean, somewhere in the near future, that should happen, Chris.
Well, I'm just being realistic.
Yeah, you're right.
After review,
smart.
The runner was down at the 20.5-yard line. It'll be second down. Clock operator, please put 7:07 on the game clock. It will start. Am I ready for play?
And they do mark it right where the knee is down. They don't give him any forward progress after originally having that inside the 19. So it was almost first and goal at the 1. Instead, it's 2nd and 9. The ball just outside the 20 for Western Kentucky, playing catch up all day. It was 17-0 in the first half. Story stepping up again. Oh, hit hard and driven to the turf by Amari Cobb. Clean hit, no flag.
Amari Cobb has hit Story like this a few times tonight. Usually when he's the blitzer, Story pulls it down, tries to run right through the heart of this defense for Marshall. And Amari Cobb says, absolutely not today.
Marshall has already had a player ejected for targeting. Furman Silva was ejected in the first half. 3rd down and 5. It's a handoff. Walker, first down and more. Touchdown, Western.
What a run by Gage Walker. Now Marshall's trying to say he fumbled before he got in the end zone. It looked like he crossed the goal line before that ball came out. We'll watch right here. You'll see the ball. Looks like it's crossed.
Yep.
There, by far a touchdown for sure. Now this is a big extra point, Chris. That is not a guarantee.
It's been an adventure all day for Corey Munson. He's missed an extra point. He's missed a 32-yarder. John Haggerty, the holder, has been giving him the seams, the laces on the football several times. Another look at that touchdown run, capping an 8-play, 80-yard drive. An extra point from tying it up. And he got it. From down 17 to 23 all. What a comeback by the first place Hilltoppers. And it's been all Western Kentucky here the last quarter and a half of this football game, AJ. They've got all the momentum in the world.
Gage Walker, just a heck of an effort. And what have we talked about on a lot of their successful runs today? Number 61, Jordan Meredith, the right guard, is the common theme running through a lot of their successful explosive runs on the day. He's been pulling around, kind of paving the way for Gage Walker. He does it again there on the huge touchdown run, and they're able to tie it up 23-all with 6:19 to go.
And he's over 100 yards on the ground, 11 carries for a $105 and 2 touchdowns. Gage Walker averaging 9.5 yards per pop. And our stadium moment of the game happened between quarters. Marshall announcing a major fundraising effort bunch of major improvements if they can get that done here on homecoming in Huntington, West Virginia. Give them a little fireworks show. All right, 6:19 to go. This is exactly what Western Kentucky wanted. They've scored 16 straight. They were down 23-7 in the third. The only difference right now in this game is the missed extra point. Had Corey Munson not yanked that extra point, Western Kentucky would be up 1.
Shows you can never take for granted your kicking game and who your kicker is. Obviously, Marshall has supreme confidence in their kicking game. This one may come down to a field goal. We'll see.
Yeah, Justin Warwasser, 3 for 3 in this game, 10 for 10 on the season. Advantage Marshall in field goal kicking, especially if it goes to overtime. They kick it deep. And it's a touchback. This Marshall offense has not found the end zone since midway through the first quarter. They don't need to do that, but they will need points if they're going to win this football game. It was 5 years ago when Marshall was 11-0, trying to finish a perfect regular season, and Western Kentucky won in overtime 67-66. One of the games of the decade in college football. And they're locked in a tight one again. Green, incomplete, another drop. This time it's Brock Thompson. And his pass catchers are letting him down here in the fourth.
Yeah, Brock Thompson ran a really good route on the outside here. Sold it up the field, came back to the ball. Isaiah Green delivers a strike, but as you can see, Thompson's already turning his head before he secures that catch to run with it. The young freshman will try to redeem himself here in the fourth quarter.
Over the middle, that one is caught. Armani Levias wasn't dropping that. A yard short of a first down. 3rd and 1. And here was the aftermath of that game. There's old Forrest Lamp for Western Kentucky. And really the start of this great rivalry. Jeff Brom, the former coach, now at Purdue. And Tyson Helton was the offensive coordinator in that game. And there are some players out here, Levi Brown for Marshall, who played in that game. First down. Knox still moving. Hog Molly's pushing him across the 45. And there's Levi Brown flexing.
Marshall subbed out. Xavier Gaines brought in their 4th tight end, Garrett Morrill, and put him on the line like an extra tackle. So you knew if you're Western's defense, you have a good idea what they're trying to do. Subbing out the smaller Xavier Gaines, bringing in an extra tackle, trying to pound the ball. They've kept Morrill in right here too. So let's see if they continue with the ground and pound. I try to go up top maybe to Armani Levias, who is one-on-one. If Isaiah Green sees that, he could take it.
Well, it looked that way. Now he throws it late over the middle, and Knox had it go off his fingertips. It was thrown behind him. Had he not gotten his hand on it, it might have been intercepted.
Isaiah Green looking up there to Armani Levias, but Western, a good job of running the little D-line stunt, bringing 4-man pressure, dropping into a zone coverage, keeping their eyes on Green, not allowing any easy throws, forcing a 2nd and 10 here.
Just 3 points in the second half for Marshall. 2nd and 10. And calmly completed out into the flat for a pickup of 7 to Xavier Gaines.
Western bringing some pressure. Brendan Knox steps up in the A-gap, picks up the blitzing linebacker. Allows them to have a 3rd and 3 here as we see the big package coming back in. Morrill as the extra tight end in the game now. In the backfield, kind of at a pock position right here as he can come back across the ball or he can lead up in there.
He's going out on a route. Green buying time, stepping up, and dropped for a sack. Jalen Madden with his first sack of the season.
Watch Isaiah Green kind of play in the pocket with D'Angelo Malone, who has a tackle in front of him, but he doesn't know if he should go under, over top, whatever it may be. Isaiah Green finds a way to try to make some kind of magic happen, but the coverage is too good in the back end. And they are swarming from this front 4 for Western Kentucky and force another punt here with a chance to have possession of this ball with 3 minutes remaining and a chance to go down and win.
And that one will drop inside the 15. Great Marshall roll, and it'll be down at the 1. But there is a flag back at the line of scrimmage. Officials sorting this out here with 3:02 to play. The flag is on the far side of the field at the 49-yard line, just ahead of the line of scrimmage.
Illegal equipment offense. There were 2 players numbered 43 in formation and participating in the play. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay. 4th down.
What a disastrous mistake. You have double numbers in college football. Robert Lefevre is number 43. He's the punter. Owen Porter is also number 43. He's a defensive lineman.
Here's 143. There's 1.
So he's supposed to put on a different number if he's going to go out there.
Look at this. 1, 2 43s.
That is a major mistake.
You can't have
mistake.
2 guys the same number. And they're stacked up right behind each other. That's the other scary part. That's another reason why double numbers, I think Chris and I would both agree, should not be a part of college football.
So they'll re-punt it. They had it down at the 1. This one taken at the 21. And Cray still on his feet and gets popped. Big hit from Marquise Couch. Kristen?
Hey, Chris, I'm over here on the Western Kentucky sideline. As you can imagine, they are fired up. Everyone's celebrating. But Clayton White, the defensive coordinator, telling his guys, hey, we are not done yet. We have got to go out and finish this. Don't get too excited just yet.
Well, they're hoping the defense doesn't have to come back on the field. They can drive this down and win it. Western Kentucky has not led the whole game.
Chris, that penalty,
it cost them almost 35 yards.
Change in 34 yards. I mean, that is gigantic.
Kristen says it's starting to rain again as well. That pass complete. That wasn't blown dead. Ja'Cour Pearson didn't think it was blown dead anyway. And now they say he's down at the 39-yard line.
It didn't sound like it was blown dead until late, too, and way late. Like you think about right there, it's blown dead. We never heard it until about right there is when we heard the whistle.
Pick up of 4. 2:15 to go. Lucky Jackson in motion. 15 catches so far in this game. Make it 16. A career day for Lucky. Short of the first down, 3rd and 2. Under 2 minutes to play.
Let's see if Marshall decides to bring more than 3 or 4. They've gotten 3 and 4-man pressure all night long, but in 3rd and short, you got to be aware of the run as well.
He'll hand it off, and it's a big stop, but a flag is out. Marshall makes the stop. Loss of 3. Carry-on Morrell in there with Tavante Beckett. Will check the penalty marker. It'll be holding on Western Kentucky, and they'll decline. And now we'll see if Marshall takes a timeout, because the clock would still be running.
Holding, offense, number 94. The penalties decline. 4th down. Timeout, Marshall. Their second. It will be 30 seconds.
94 right here. You see it put in to like an extra tackle in the game.
And that's Parker Howell, who, again with these double numbers, Parker Howell usually wears number 68. But when he lines up as an eligible receiver, he switches to number 94.
Yeah, and Marquise Couch with that inside move there again, forcing that holding right there. He's been doing that all day long, and it just makes it really, really difficult to block him when you never know where he's going to be.
And Marshall just used its 2nd timeout to save some time for the offense. 1:34 to go. Western Kentucky will have to punt it, we would presume, on 4th and 5.
I feel like the rain has really picked up here in the last few minutes.
You can hear it on our microphones now. John Haggerty to punt it away. Standing at his own 25-yard line. Gets it away. Great kick. Taken at the 4-yard line by Talik Keaton. And trying to rip that ball out was Amari Alexander, but Keaton hangs onto it and gets it to the 13. 1:21 away from overtime.
Yeah, he catches this ball inside the 5, which a lot of times the coach will tell you, plant your feet, sometimes at the 10, sometimes at the 6 or 7, and don't go backwards. But he may have saved his team 8 or 9 yards of field position there by catching that ball, but it did get kind of scary for him. I feel like when he was running around the left edge, ball in his right arm, and the whole Western coverage team seemed to be yanking at that, trying to pull the ball out.
Low snap. 4-man pressure. Pocket holds. It's complete. Just a 2 or 3 yard gain. Clock moving. Western Kentucky has all 3 timeouts. And I think they may have used one. Somebody called a timeout. It sounds like the official said that Western Kentucky used that timeout. That would be their first timeout with 1:06 to go. Here at Stadium, we're offering a full morning of sports programming on all our stadium platforms. The Territory gets rolling at 9 Eastern, followed by Emerge, Campus Insiders, and Sauce and Tram. The Fantasy Sportsbook coming your way at 6 Eastern. We've got you covered for all your sports news all day long. Stadium, welcome to the game. See, the raincoats are out. Our apologies to Kristen Balboni, who had her jacket stolen away by fellow play-by-player from Stadium, Noah Kozlov, who took the only extra small available. They'll run it. Knox with room. Out of bounds at the 32-yard line. 1:08 to go.
Nice giant hole opened up by that Marshall offensive line that has really done a solid job in pass game and run game throughout this day.
Remember, just 1 timeout left for Marshall. Justin Rohrwasser, their kicker, is 10 for 10 this season. Hit a career-long 46-yarder earlier in this game. The elements playing more of a factor now, though, with the rain coming down. Over the middle, complete. It's another first down. Clock stops. Brock Thompson on the catch.
Brock Thompson, a sure-handed freshman receiver, making up for that earlier drop in the fourth quarter.
Another one over the middle. This one caught, but it's going to waste some time here. Clock moving. 45 seconds to go. They pick up 4 yards. Fans urging the team to pick up the pace. Again over the middle. Again, that's not going to be enough for a first down. Marshall is going to use a timeout, their last timeout, with 28 seconds left. You always want to have that in your back pocket when you need a field goal late to try to set up a field goal.
Yeah, you do. And then now setting up about a 3rd and 1. We know the clock stops momentarily with a first down, but without that timeout now, you would feel pretty good about Brendan Knox getting you this first down on the ground, but you're going to have a plan in place if you do run it and get that first down. Get right back to the line, have a play called, have something set up, make sure that field goal unit is on board too, and they are all aware of the situation and ready to go.
Don't forget, Stadium is your home for Ring of Honor Wrestling. Check out the latest from ROH Superstars on all Stadium platforms. Here's the snap. Handoff up the middle. First down. Clock stops.
They're going to spike it here.
And there's the spike. 19 seconds left. And they need about 10 more yards to get a good crack at it. Now, this is very reminiscent of what we saw last week at North Texas, coming down to the wire. Needing a late field goal, Mason Fine was able to lead his team to victory over Middle Tennessee. You saw it on Stadium. Can Marshall do the same against Western Kentucky? Going deep. Thompson. He dropped it again. Second catastrophic drop of the fourth quarter for Brock Thompson. And this would have been a touchdown.
Trey Meadows in coverage. I wonder if Trey Meadows got a fingertip on that or not. Either way, it hit Brock Thompson's hands.
And if he did get a fingertip on it, what a play that was from Trey Meadows. So then it becomes almost impossible to catch.
Yeah, Isaiah Green was looking his way the whole time, and Brock Thompson one-on-one on the outside.
13 seconds to go. No timeouts for Marshall. Green buying time, directing traffic, runs it down the sideline, and with 6 seconds to go, they're at the 36-yard line. It would be a 53-yard field goal from here. And they're going to try it. With no timeouts, you're almost forced to. 10 for 10 this season. Justin Rohrwasser set a career high earlier in this game on this side of the field with a 46-yarder. Wind is not a factor, rain is, and a timeout Western Kentucky. And he did get a practice kick in.
He made the warm-up kick.
He's got the distance for it. Ice in his veins, he says. Won't bother me. Redshirt senior from Clifton Park, New York.
He's looking at the Western Kentucky sideline, too.
Still one more timeout for Western Kentucky, so we'll see if Tyson Helton decides to keep it going. It'll be a 53-yard attempt
I bet he ices him again. Yep.
And he does. He'll get another crack at it. This one, again, long enough, and that one went through as well.
Now he knows this one matters. Now he knows Western has no timeouts left.
Tyson Helton is not happy with the referee.
I think he's upset they're allowing him to get these practice kicks.
And I agree with that because these timeouts have been called so early that they were nowhere near being ready to snap that ball. But a smart job by Marshall, the snapper and the holder, to snap that when the timeout was called and get some practice.
Looked like Tyson Helton just said to the official, "You blew it."
Justin Rohrwasser to try to win it for Marshall from 53 yards out. It's got the leg. It is good! And the perfect season continues for Justin Rohrwasser. 11 for 11 in the biggest kick of his life. The timeouts couldn't stop him. The rain couldn't stop him. And that would have been good from close to 60.
Oh, and by the way, it was his third one in a row that he made after getting iced twice. Got 2 practice runs at it and drains it when it really matters. Wow. What a finish.
And how about a kicker with 2 career longs in one game? Kicked a 46-yarder to set a career high earlier in this game. And then a 53-yarder to win it. What a game. What a homecoming. And what a win for Marshall. Their 3rd straight in conference play after dropping their opener to Middle Tennessee. They now have the inside track to win the division. Down to Kristen Balboni.
The doc is going. You're trying to go over to your kicker, Justin Rohrwasser. We'll get him over here.
What a game, my gosh. Back and forth. And you know what? That kid, he told me he could make it. I said, hell, let's go win the game.
So you had no disbelief that he couldn't make that 53-yarder?
Never kicked one before, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you I didn't have any disbelief, but I'm proud of him. And you know what? He's kicked well all game, and just so damn proud of this football team, the way they fight.
This happened on your homecoming. You come in and beat a CUSA East foe that had previously won 4 straight games. What does this mean for your team?
Yeah, that means we're where we're supposed to be. I mean, we were picked to win the East prior to this season and got off to a little bit of a rocky start. But you know what? I love this football team. They're playing really well right now, and it's got to get better. We've got to continue.
All right, Coach, we'll let you go celebrate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kristen. This homecoming crowd leaving wet but happy. Marshall led 17-0. Looked like they were going to run away with this thing. Western Kentucky caught him, but this young man, the hero, Kristen with Justin Rohrwasser.
He is the hero indeed. I was just talking to your coach, and he said you told him that you could make it, so he had faith in you. Any doubt that you could make that?
No, I mean, when you have Jackson and Beardall who are snapping, holding for you, and a great O-line, there's nothing to worry about. You just got to go do your job. And they all did, and I did the same.
I saw your teammates walking around saying you got ice in your veins. What did it mean to be able to celebrate with your team after this win?
Oh, there's not many words to say. I just feel lucky to be surrounded with such a great coaching staff and players. And, you know, this team's so tight, and they believe in me, and I believe in them. I appreciate it.
Well, it is no surprise that you are our Stadium Plus Player of the Game. Congratulations. We're going to let you go celebrate that win.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Love you, Mom. Love you, Grayson. My little nephew. Love my whole family, my dad. Thank you so much for supporting me. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, back to you.
What a humble kid. Calls out his long snapper, Matt Beardall, his holder, Jackson White, his offensive line. But Justin Rohrwasser is our Stadium Plus Player of the Game. 4 for 4 with 2 career longs. And today's Defensive Play of the Game, brought to you by Wendy's. This was a long time ago. Opening drive of the game. Well, this is when we knew Marshall came to play. Trickery, intercepted. Marshall took that down for a score and rode that wave to a 17-0 lead. Download the Wendy's app today to order your Dave's Double Hamburger. That's your Wendy's Defensive Play of the Game. And there's Justin Rohrwasser making the late rounds around the stadium. All these fans who stuck it out in the cool, rainy weather. And what a win. Now Marshall's 3-1 in conference. Western Kentucky falls to 4-1. Marshall's a half game back, but they've got the head-to-head tiebreaker.
Yeah, they really do. And you look at the screen now, you see a happy, smiling Doc Holliday. What a game this was. They jump out to an early lead. They stall a little bit. Western makes a ton of plays offensively and defensively, but in the end, the kicker makes that big 53-yard bomb to win it for his team.
Next week, we have Marshall again as they travel to Houston to take on Rice. We'll be there, and so will that young man. He'll take a perfect season into Rice, 11 for 11, and the 53-yarder to win it. For Kristen Balboni, AJ Hawk, and our entire crew, I'm Chris Hassel. So long from Huntington.